And welcome to the Krueg Show, Saturday night on the eve of the Super Bowl after Warrior basketball. The Pig in a Pickle Krueg Show gets rolling on a Saturday, brought to you by our good friends at Pig in a Pickle. Thank you to Damon, thank you to Mary, and all the good people at Pig in a Pickle. 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. We'll have more on that later on, but joining us tonight on the show, the great Ryan Smith in the house, the great Dan Coach Emilio, the third of the Coach Emilio brothers, joining us tonight. We had Steve the other day, of course, and of course Frank Red, bottom square as well. And if you think you see billowing smoke, not yet, but you may, because Cy is going to be joining us.
Let's Terradome broke in.
Cy will be joining us at some point and giving his thoughts on a Warrior loss tonight to the Los Angeles Lakers, 109-103. There was no LeBron, and so I was thinking, man, maybe the Warriors will get the Lakers tonight, especially without LeBron. But there was, obviously still no Steph Curry, and the Warriors wind up losing this one, 109-103. Really the big difference, it was a very even first quarter. It was a very even second quarter. It was a dead even fourth quarter, gentlemen, but it was a Laker dominance in the third. That was the difference in the ball game as the Lakers won the quarter 34-26. Who wants to go first? What's the big takeaway tonight from the game?
I'll go first because I have just a quick one. I think almost more importantly than LeBron missing was Russell Westbrook missing. That really sucks. Like, I just feel like you can always kind of count on, he gets enough crap, but like you can always count on him to, play hero ball, especially if Bron's not in there, and kind of just do a bunch of losing things. And my other takeaway is, man, the Lakers do kind of look like they are a little rejuvenated with all those moves. They've got some juice. I mean, that just happens when you trade for people. Sometimes it fades, but it's just a reminder of, man, this GP thing is really kind of a bummer because, especially if they can't get him, that's what you need when you're a championship team, especially when you're struggling, is you need new juice, new guys, newfound motivation, and it just wasn't there. So just a huge bummer.
Yeah, it's like the SNL. You like the juice, eh? I get you the juice. Oh, I get you the juice. The Warriors don't have the juice. Ghostface Gangsta says this team is hot garbage. GP2 will not fix this mess. And then he doubles back with season is over.
Oh, God.
Bubble wrap Curry, bubble wrap Draymond.
I'm not going to go that far, but I'll say this with the Lakers. The thing that popped into my head at the end of the game, and I saw when the Lakers were going to win it, and I saw LeBron pumped up on the side, on the baseline there, I said, this reminds me of the 1987 Giants. Rob Pelinka pulled an Al Rosen and just remade this team. They look rejuvenated, and when you get some mojo going and some excitement and everybody, and you get the cancer off the team, like Rye already mentioned with Westbrook, this is a team could get hot and be very dangerous if they stay healthy. And as I watched this game, I said, the Warriors are somewhat becoming one-dimensional. If they hit their threes, especially at home, they're likely to win. But if they start going into a cold spell, as they did in the second half, they're not that good. They look like a 500 team right now because they're playing, sometimes they're playing with real cohesiveness. And then other times they're just like the offense is so stagnant and they're just hunting the three. They just keep hunting the threes. And the problem, I love Poole's game, but I hate when Poole takes running three-pointers. I mentioned it the other night. I've yet to see him hit one in recent memory where he's going and kind of falling off to the side. When he's set, he's pretty good. But when he's rushing it, not good.
Yeah, I mean, Clay, Poole, DiVincenzo shot combined 7 of, wait for it, 28 from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
and
hit 3 more of those,
that's pretty rough
win.
for sure. And the Lakers have added some shooting, and the Lakers have added some talent. I mean, Rui Hachimura had 16. He was plus 12, 16 and 7 for Hachimura. I thought that was a phenomenal pickup. The D-Lo that the Lakers are getting this go round is better than the D-Lo they had before. They added Vanderbilt, who's a really solid player, and I thought he was excellent in 17 minutes tonight. I mean, look at what Vanderbilt did: 12 points, 6 boards, or 6 defensive boards, 8 total boards, 4 assists. Didn't have a single turnover, in 17 minutes. So, they've added some shooting, they've added some talent, and they look a little rejuvenated. Now, the Lakers, I think, coming into today, didn't they have to go like 16-4 or something like that to like reach 500? I mean, it's going to be
they're like 4 or 5 games under 500.
They're 26-31.
Yeah, 5 games.
What do they got to do to finish?
Over?
To finish to be a playoff team. What do you think they need to do to be a playoff
Probably
team?
45 wins this year.
Yeah. So that means they're going to have to go on a real run.
45 and what is that?
The depressing thing is, Lair, they're only 2.5 back from the Warriors.
Well, I know, and the Warriors are 500. Here's the other thing: we're 56 games into this Warriors season, and the Warriors don't look like a championship team. I mean, and then they just made a trade. I mean, I definitely want your guys' thoughts on this. Frank is, I want to hear your thoughts on the game as well. But I mean, what do you guys want? Do you want GP2 back, or would you rather rescind the trade? Because I'll tell you right now, I'd much rather rescind the trade because James Wiseman's value is going to go up. The whole reason that you would go for GP2 would be so you don't waste, a year of Steph Curry. And now you're not going to get GP2. So it's just strictly the buyout market anyway. And there's some intriguing options in the buyout market. I'd rather go Reggie Jackson and some big from the buyout market.
Jackson's going to sign with Denver.
He's going to go to Denver. I'd rather go for somebody like that, though, in the buyout market and just try to trade James Wiseman again this summer. What would you guys rather do?
We talked about the last few shows, and clearly I think this is coming from upper management. I mean, there was a definitive amount of money that they were going to save from the trade. Even with the mishaps of the trade, they still have that money baked in. So, I think that's where they want to go. Personality-wise, I think it could be really awkward to bring Wiseman back. But fundamentally, from a basketball perspective, it actually makes sense to bring him back. But for all of the other variables that we're talking about, it would seem weird. Now, looking at the game from like a coach's or a player's perspective, the Warriors play pretty good basketball. And I think sometimes folks are hesitant to give the Lakers credit. Listen, the way that these new players were able to mesh together so quick bodes well for their future. And everything that you guys said about the players who are coming back now, these are established players. Even a Dennis Schroeder. This guy is inspired and hungry because he has to get another contract. So, you know what? I mean, I'm concerned, but I'm not overly concerned. Dan, you talk about the Warriors making or missing shots. That's what they are. That's what they are.
It's a make or miss league, and when they're on.
I mean, this game was really about execution. Their margin is really small. What bothered me was the fact that the game kind of shifted a little bit. Even though Poole played well in the fourth quarter, he should not have 10 technical fouls.
Right.
That is absurd because they're going to need a call. I'm not as worried. Something has to happen in the buyout market. I wish they had got Muscala. I would have loved him in a Warrior uniform.
Quite a shooter.
Yeah, he's smart too. The smart guy. You can run offense around him. So that's my take. I'm listening to everybody. But
and Golden State again loses inside. They were minus 9 point on the glass. And points in the paint went to the Lakers. Warriors are minus 6 points in the paint. So
you can see why they want GP2 though, because all they had to do, the guards, was get penetration, get inside, and then it was like either a nice easy scoop shot or a lob to Davis. They have no rim protection, or just get it down to Davis, let him back in. A talented guy like Davis, once he gets his timing back, because he's only been back 6, 7 games. Give him another 5 to 8 games, he would kill the Warriors in this current lineup because they don't have anybody.
Defends him really well, Draymond.
Yeah, but he can get Draymond in foul trouble too.
The Warriors' problem was offense down the stretch, not defense.
To me, the major issue that has been an issue for the Warriors all year is their inability to defend without fouling. I mean, look at the Lakers. It was a parade to the free throw line. The Lakers shot 14 more free throws than the Warriors did. 26 for LA, 12 for Golden State. And look at the I mean that to me that's absolutely huge. I mean, the Warriors have had 21 fouls. The Lakers had 12. You got to be able to defend without fouling. And it's like Golden State just constantly crosses that line, and it's a parade to the foul line. And it's just, it's frustrating to watch. I mean, it really is.
Side of that, it's like offensively, nobody's drawing fouls. Nobody's going to the line. That's a huge issue when your offense is struggling. That is the thing you have to do. Now, Steph has gotten better, I'd say, as he's older, as he started to get more calls, more physical. He's gone, he tends to lead the team in free throws. But man, if there's one thing that I really truly miss about Durant, it's just that guy would get to the free throw line.
I was thinking the same thing as I was watching tonight, Rye. I thought Wiggins has got to, especially a game like tonight, take charge and just drive it to the hoop.
He played 31 minutes. He didn't shoot a free throw.
Yeah, use his left hand. He's really good with, in the air, switching hands and laying it in. He's got to take that aggressive approach but what they're doing tonight, I kept watching, is like they kept looking for screens for Poole and Thompson. And you couldn't, I don't know if the Lakers were taking away the backdoor cuts, but they weren't getting.
They're playing zone. They're playing a 2-3 zone.
But the inability to draw fouls is just a glaring thing. DiVincenzo, 26 minutes, shot 0 free throws. Jonathan Kuminga should be attacking the rim because he's not really an outside shooter of note yet. 0 free throws. Wiggins should be attacking. To me, I like Wiggins best when he's attacking the rim. 0 free throws. Looney's your big man. 0. Draymond Green, 1. I mean, all of your interior players combined for 1 free throw, you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. You're going to lose. You have to get some easy. You got to get some easy points. And when you don't have, when you have no free throw attempts like they made 11 of 12. It wasn't like they don't make their free throws. They were 92%, but they shot 12 free throws all night.
And what the Lakers get 26?
26.
Jeez.
That's a huge.
Well,
that's
it was
huge
the same
disparity.
thing the other night.
Yes, exact.
When they lost, who'd they play the other night? They lost.
Portland. And Damian Lillard
had 31 of 32. And the Warriors were had 11 or 12 free throws.
And of course, the update today for those who didn't hear, the Warriors now have till tomorrow. There's a deadline tomorrow to make their decision, and it sounds like Monty Poole seems to be indicating that they're leaning towards, staying with the trade, which really kind of screams that this trade is so much more about Joe Lacob's money savings than really trying to win this year. I mean, do they want to win this year? Yeah, but now you're making a trade and you're trading a young asset for an old hurt asset who's been hurt a lot and is, now, 30, 31, 32. That's what you're going to have him for. I like GP2. I love him as a defender, but I don't know. I mean, I got to think that, maybe you could, I'll give you an example. Somebody suggested Pat Beverly. Pat Beverly might not be a bad replacement. How about rescind the trade? Don't take GP2 back. Don't take GP2. If you want to trade from the future, is with that contract and with, which is not crazy, but, with his injury history, you could probably get him this offseason for any number of combination of players. Go get Beverly, rescind that trade and bring Wiseman back. I know it's awkward, but I'd rather do that. I'd rather, maintain that asset. And maybe I guess if you ask me, if I'm a betting man, do I bet his value goes up or down? I would guess it goes up because it's not very high right now.
Well, I'd really hope that Side drops by because I feel like he
is.
maybe okay, good. So because I need someone that is a little more plugged into the, the kind of annoying nerdy stuff, like all the with these trades, because like I don't know, like can they renegotiate it all at this
No,
point?
no,
No,
it's
it
not.
can't. It can't.
So that's just
It's an all or nothing deal.
that is so.
I thought they could back out of just the Warrior Blazer part
Yes.
and not, let everybody let the rest of the thing go through and just, take the picks. Or I thought maybe the other teams, let's say you're the Hawks or any team, any team in this trade, I thought could actually call somebody else in the trade and say, hey man, we really want this thing to go through, so much so that we'll offer you this, whatever. But it also sounds like, and we'll talk to Cy about this, but that there could be a full-fledged investigation here. And if it's shown, we now have an accusation of Toradol shots being given to GP2. The Blazers claim they never gave him those shots to play. They either did or did not.
GP's agent
did not disclose that in any trade discussions with the Warriors, though.
Weird.
And according to Anthony Slater, the Warrior front office is pissed.
Well, and GP2's agent apparently is saying that it didn't happen as well. So that's interesting. But I mean, I was kind of trying to bring this up when we first were talking about it, is like from the Blazers perspective, I didn't understand the trade. Well, I mean, why sign Gary Payton if when he's finally healthy and ready to go, you're just going to trade him for 5 second-round picks? That seems weird to me. And then now you're kind of looking, it's like, kind of seems like they maybe knew a little something and they said, look, we're going to get rid of GP, and they made moves to bring in Tybalt as like their kind of defensive stopper. And
there's no problem. Just settle the trade. The NBA just step in, give us Dame, and everything's equal.
From a basketball perspective, though, I think watching GP2 in practice, they're more of a pick and roll, isolation oriented team. GP2 is a instinctive cutter, defensive oriented player. And I think they realized that he wasn't going to work as well with their system. Shannon Sharp is coming along a lot faster than people thought that he would. They got a chance to get Thibault. They got Thibault. So they have defensive oriented players. And I thought they saw it as an opportunity to really dump some salary, Yeah. So, I think it works for Portland and it helps the Warriors as well. But if he's injured, then fundamentally, I would agree with you, Larry, that, I mean, as awkward as it is, it might make sense to rescind the trade. You still have your asset, and you can sign the guard in the buyout market.
I don't think that's going to happen because Anthony Slater reported tonight that Gary Payton II has emerged from the Warriors' tunnel locker room area and is now seated next to Bob Myers. And Mike.
That was 5
hours
ago.
It's not going to happen. You're right. It's not going to happen. But
we don't know. I mean, just because he was sitting with Myers, they have tomorrow to make up their mind on this thing. I mean, as I said, they could go. GP2 could be acquired this summer if they wanted to acquire him. I just, to me, it's just, I'll say this as a Bay Area sports fan. I don't think I'm ever going to hear these trades again. The old pending a physical has just, pending a physical is like, basically saying like, hey, we made a trade, but you know what? We didn't make squat. I mean, Carlos Correa and now this, what the heck's going on here? I thought it just used to be like a formality pending a physical. Now it's like, heck, man, Rick Celebrini gets his hands on you, and man, if you're not the perfect human being, he's rescinding. Legendary answer says Lakers winning the championship. Let's go Lakers. Enough of that.
And if you
Lakers aren't even going to make the playoffs. Yeah. I think it's 50-50 they make it, right?
Yeah, the odds are
everybody's sitting there at 500, but they could just as easily miss as make.
They're plus money right now to make the playoffs. But if you want to get conspiratorial, and I don't know where you guys would stand on this sort of thing, but if there was some foul play with the Blazers, the thing that kind of makes sense is like, because if I'm the Blazers, they're collecting young talent. They're getting Cam Reddish. They brought in taking a chance on Tybalt. They know I almost said Shannon Sharp. Shaden Sharp is coming along. Anthony Simons, obviously they're keeping Dame, but they're looking towards the future. If you're them, would you not rather James Wiseman than 5 second-round picks? So it gets you to thinking, well, so if they don't directly just do the clean trade with Wiseman, that means, all right, we got to get other teams involved. That means they have to be working on all this other other crap. They can't get right to the trade, get it done, and then the Warriors, if he fails.
Hey, I had the
Warriors can't be wrong in the West.
Yeah.
That's why they
Rye. I was talking to Rye the other
West.
day about a trade, and I got to thinking, the Blazers, they're going nowhere, right? I mean, they're not going to win a championship in Dame's lifetime. So in the offseason, why not, if you want to bring Wiseman back, give him Wiseman and Poole plus like 3 or number ones, and bring Dame and have Dame
I'm about it.
And Curry. That would be a show and a half.
And it would work.
It'd be enormously popular. I mean, it's not happening. I mean, it's not.
Why not?
Well, no, it could.
Why not? Because Dame has maintained that he's going to stay in Portland, and Portland has maintained they're going to keep Dame.
But they're going to wait.
So why would it happen?
He's Mike Trout.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is also the fit is like, it's like with KD. It's like, okay, you can envision. It's just basically you got rid of Barnes and you brought in KD. Perfect. You get rid of Poole, you bring in Dame. That it works the same way. But yeah, I do think that Dame, if there was a chance he was going to go somewhere, going back home takes the sting out of it a little bit. And the way the Blazers are acting, they're not really acting like they're trying to compete now. It looks like they're trying to build up towards the future.
Maybe the Warriors ought to as well. I mean, Sadiq Bey's agent, by the way, according to PMG, is Mike Dunleavy's brother. James Wiseman's agent is the founder of the same agency. PMG is saying the trade was to get them minutes so they get big contracts in 2024. The Warriors don't want to pay or won't pay Wiseman or Sadiq Bey. Well, Bey's either going to be a Hawk or he's going to be a Piston. And the question is, if you resend the trade, what do you do then with James Wiseman? What I would do is send him to the G League and just let him play. The guy needs regular minutes and enough of the back and forth. Just let him play. Just let him play. And let's see if he gets into any kind of a rhythm.
Well, Draymond didn't say send him to Santa. He was just talking about going to Detroit, and
which, by the way, they have Jalen Duren. They have
Stewart.
They have Stewart. They have Marvin Bagley. Like, I don't really
New Orleans Noel.
Yeah. Where's the fit even there for minutes? It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
No, that was just like a dead place to stick him.
Yeah.
It was.
I'll tell you what the thing that
he's going to wind up in Miami. Watch.
Yeah.
At
some point, I think he'll be in Miami.
That could be. Yeah. The thing that intrigues me though with Dame next year, because Poole is young and he could kind of start like the whole new thing for Portland, and then if you give him
for Portland, I mean,
you give him some 3+1s, and you all of a sudden now you're talking Dame's 30, 31, something like that.
Yeah. So
he's not going to win in Portland. I mean, Portland's been competitive for as long as he's been there, and they can't get. They're not.
Well, they went with the double 6'3" guards thing in the backcourt, and that just didn't work. They weren't big enough. And they came along right when Clay and Steph were there, and Clay and Steph were better.
Right, and then you could actually.
That's really it. But I would love to see Lillard here. That would be dramatic.
And you can manage Steph's minutes. You can play Steph incredible. Like 27 minutes a night instead of 35.
McCaffrey and Debo. If one of them goes down, you can still keep going.
Yeah. Maybe in the offseason. Jim Mollet says, "What's up, fellas? What's up, chat?" Look at Mollet addressing the chat directly. Driving back to the city from Roseville, Dub Nation is in shambles right now. Not the Krueg show, though. Keep rocking. Hey, Mollet, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, man. And high driving is drunk driving. Just want you to know.
Here's the thing about Dame.
Yes.
Dame is what you see on television. He is a great guy, and he's a great leader. And I think that Portland would love Jordan Poole's talent, and I'm not blaming Jordan necessarily 100% because he's still a relatively young guy. He might be younger than his actual age in terms of maturity. Right. They would have a problem with that. Chauncey's kind of a no-nonsense, championship-oriented guy, and they would expect him to not only bring his tremendous talent, but also a sense of leadership, and like the Warriors want him to. And I think that would be a problem. Dame would fit perfectly with the guys from a maturity and winning attitude perspective. So, Portland, I think, would kind of have a problem with Poole up there. With all
I think
young
No
guys.
Cap 757 has my new approach. I like this. This is exactly what I would do. He says, rescind the damn trade. Let James come back, then send him home and let him come out and to the practice facility and, send him to the G League for the rest of the year and then trade him in the offseason to Detroit for Sadiq Bey. Done.
He ain't capping.
Done, right? I mean,
somebody else, yeah.
I think that's a good trade. I really do. And if Draymond decides to move on, then Sadiq Bey can be kind of like Draymond insurance.
Sucks they can't just have Sadiq Bey.
I know, because that was the original trade.
They had him for what, half hour or so?
Yeah.
People are putting up Sadiq Bey. What's your favorite Sadiq Bey Warrior moment? And
always
like
a Warrior, yeah.
But it's funny. The Warriors do have this tendency to have these like moments of awesomeness. Like, didn't they have Vince Carter for a moment?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He did.
Also, Frank, I'd love your perspective on it because we kind of touched on this the other day. Like, what did you think of the Lakers trade? Like, how the hell did they pull that off? Like, they gave up Russ, who I'd argue is maybe a negative. At least if this was 6 months ago, they would have had to attach a pick just to get rid of him just for like a Vanderbilt. Right. But now it's like, how the hell did they pull that off? I mean, even their first round pick converts to a second if they finishes bottom four. Like,
I don't know. Like, I sent the tweet out a couple of days ago and I said it's officially time to get off Rob Pelinka's back because I think he's done a masterful job. I think the Washington Wizards just fumbled the bag on Rui to try to get the European guy some minutes. That guy can play. And
he's an athlete too.
Yeah. So I think Rob Pelinka is kind of like that Bob Myers type where people like him and they want to do business with him. And maybe they get a tour of LA when they come. I don't know. But I mean, they did a fantastic job. I mean, D'Angelo Russell, I don't know if he's a long-term fit for the Lakers, but he's a player. This guy is an above average, solid NBA player. And for those who, listen, in a series, the Lakers are scary.
Yes.
They are scary. And the Warriors, the good thing about the Warriors just need one thing to happen last year. When New Orleans knocked off Phoenix, it was like Moses parting the Red Sea. If the Warriors get a functional matchup for them in the playoffs, then they're kind of back on track to play their style of play. But they have to be healthy.
You're right, though, about the Lakers. I mean, think about it. Hachimura, underrated. Vanderbilt, underrated. Malik Beasley, underrated. I think Mo Bamba's got some talent. I mean, I love those moves from the Lakers. I did a live stream Friday, guys, with Grant Napier. And, I asked him, I said, what do you think of the West as far as, who, and he's like, he kind of sees the Warriors still being a team that can go to the finals out of the West, even despite this trade. Despite the Suns trade, I should say. But then I asked him about Sacramento because, I said, where do you think the Warriors are going to finish? And he said, I think they're going to get either the 6 or 7 seed. I'd lean towards the 6. Golden State right now is the 9 seed. But that means if Warriors finish in the 6 seed, Sacramento holds in their seed at 3, which I don't think is going to happen. But if they did, Warriors Kings first round could be an outstanding series. And then I asked Grant what he thought, and he said he thinks he likes the Warriors to go to the finals. He thinks the Kings don't get out of the first round. Yeah. What do you guys think of those two?
Put this in perspective, this morning before this loss, even the Warriors are 16-1 to win the Pacific Division, not the West.
Right. I mean, Sacramento. What do you think? How great would a
What are they, about 4 behind Sac now?
Round series be for Northern California? We've never gotten that. The Kings, we have 2 NBA franchises within 95 miles. Mm-hmm. I mean, outside of the Knicks, and Brooklyn, I mean, which are totally different worlds, by the way.
North Carolina boys,
Brooklyn
out there.
and Manhattan, completely different worlds.
North Carolina,
But I mean, you've got 95 miles separating the Warriors and the Kings. They've never been good at the same time. We could get Warriors Kings first round. That would be incredible. The great Cy Satsis joins us from inside for after his Locked On program came to an end. Cy, we've gotten word through the chat that you are very fired up and that you had a very fiery Locked On session.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I mean, how could you not? That was like just an ugly, ugly game. The Warriors lost a game they had no business losing. It's just the same old song and dance of Ty Jerome stealing minutes from players who deserve it. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga, 14 minutes. Are you out of your freaking mind? Like what the hell is Kerr doing? I don't get it. It's embarrassing, man. This was just, how do you lose that game? It was.
I thought Ty played pretty well, though. I know
Except
he's
for the 11 points he gave up at the end in a row during the same stretch where the Warriors were scoring points. Ty Jerome should not be in the game until the 3-minute mark over Andrew Wiggins. That's absurd, man.
Sorry, you gotta stop, man. Come on.
Why?
Come on, man. I mean, listen, Ty Jerome.
He's a pro NBA player. What they're open to criticism, dude.
Listen. He's not the problem. He is not the problem. Kerr,
what is it?
The problem is they don't have any big guys. They don't have any rebounders.
They didn't have
the problem.
They had no one last year. It's not like Jermichael. Part of the problem is Jonathan Kuminga, who should be grabbing rebounds, is playing 14 minutes.
Okay, 1 minute in the fourth quarter. Why only 1 minute in the fourth quarter for JK?
Why is Moody only playing 2 minutes? Why is Jermichael Green playing 19 minutes when he's playing great ball? Like his stats tonight, for example, Jermichael Green in 19 minutes had 11 points and 5 rebounds. So why is he not playing more, man? This team did not have a player like Ty Jerome last year. Ty Jerome is a traditional point guard. The Warriors don't need that in this system. He's a liability defensively. He doesn't help with rebounding. If rebounding is the problem, replace your small point guard with a big. I do not understand this, man. He's a pro athlete.
Issue.
They're all susceptible.
Sorry, his issue. Kerr is dead fast on running his offense all the time. He needs to adjust his offense. If he adjusted his offense, then you could get some other guys in. But I mean, from a facilitation perspective, Ty Jerome is instinctive. He's the guy who he likes. I'm with you. If you want to get better players on the floor, you got to change your offense. 95% of all NBA teams run high pick and roll. The Warriors don't run it. They ran it last year in the playoffs against Boston, and they had success. Now is the time to do it so the guys can get all the way to the cup. Guys can get some tap dunks, so on and so forth. That's it.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, then do that instead. But if you're going to play Ty Jerome, it's just infuriating, man. This should not be losing to the Lakers team, and it really represented so much more. Like watching Jared Vanderbilt, for example, a player that the Warriors could have had. They could have had him if they had made an offer that was even half decent. He would be a member of the Warriors right now. And when you look at Vanderbilt's stats in just 17 minutes, he put up 12 points and 8 rebounds. The Warriors couldn't use that. I mean, it's utterly insane that the Warriors are just standing pat. So they got to make a move in the buyout market. They have to.
It sounds like the buyout market's already started.
It has, yeah. So the Warriors
Denver,
better.
Who'd you say? Reggie Jackson, who I was hoping for Reggie Jackson. He went to Denver. Somebody else good just went to Dallas, right? Who was it? Who was it?
Kyrie or from the buyout?
Yeah, from the buyout.
Where did Muscala go? Boston. Oh yeah. I mean, I wanted him so bad.
He's a 40% 3-point shooter.
They got to do something. You know what my focus on my show is tonight? The reason why I got so fired up.
Terrence Ross is going to the Suns.
Yes.
After the buyout.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And here, if Stephen Curry wins a 5th championship this year, think of what that does to his legacy, man. That's what's starting to get piss me off is that the Warriors just sitting here twiddling their thumbs, doing nothing. You're literally just squandering one of the last opportunities for Stephen Curry to jump on Mount Rushmore. He will surpass so many players and get on Mount. You can at least make the argument for that.
They can still do it, Si. They're okay. Listen, they're all right. They're all right.
Well, Si, we left the last stream with you saying, Warriors favored to win the championship. Prior to that, you were saying Suns. I mean, after all this crappy news about GP, how you feeling?
Right now, it's Suns. I mean, yeah. I don't even know if the Suns are the team, though, man. I still
who I think's kind of sleeper here that nobody's really talking about is the Clippers. Oh yeah, look what the Clippers added. Not only do they have Terrence Mann, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Zubac. They added Bones Highland Eric Gordon. They already had Norman Powell, Batum, but they also had a Plumlee. So you added a veteran big, and a couple
They
guys
got
who
Plumlee
could score.
too. The Clippers.
Yeah, they got Mason Plumlee, Bones Highland, and Eric Gordon.
God damn it, man! This is
frustrating. To me, I think the Clippers look like kind of a dangerous team.
Yeah, the Warriors are actually going to go into the All-Star break. They're 28-28. They'll win Monday against the Wizards, and they'll get blown out next night against the Clippers down in LA. So they're going to be 29-29.
Don't sleep on the Wizards. The Wizards are talented.
Yeah.
It's not
I
good.
I think the Warriors will win because I think they know they're facing a back-to-back against the Clippers.
They got to play better than they did tonight to beat the Wizards.
So, I don't know. I just don't think – I'm not surprised they actually lost, though, tonight, even without LeBron, because the Lakers – they had three guys, Beasley and Vanderbilt and Russell, that all played together in Minnesota. They all played together at Minnesota. So as recently as last year.
Oh, yeah.
So they had already meshed a little bit. So the fact that they got those three guys and they had a lot more height and strength down low athletically, I was not surprised, because to me, in the fourth quarter, the Lakers looked like the better team.
Brody's burner, by the way, says, hate to change the subject, and we will not be changing the subject to hockey. But as a huge hockey fan and longtime hockey player, I'd love to see Krueg and company cover the Sharks from time to time. They could use some love. Continued success, y'all.
Oh, we can bring somebody on.
We don't have enough y'alls. Thank you, Brody Burner. Here's your Sharks moment. They didn't play tonight. They didn't play last night. They kind of suck. I think only one team's worse than the Sharks, and we'll talk more Sharks tomorrow night on the Krueg Show. The Sharks, no bueno.
Playoff hockey is exciting, though. Hockey ain't boring in the playoffs. That is
Link Gates, baby. Link Gates.
Yeah, Link Gates. Sandis Ozelinch. Yes. Who do you guys, first of all, Cy, do you want them to take Wiseman back, rescind this trade, or do you want to stay with this trade and have GP2 not play this year? I mean,
he can play. That's not. I mean, he could still play. And all indications are he is going to stay. I mean, Monty Poole, who
3 months, they're saying he won't play.
I think it'll be more like
said he won't play for 3 months,
6 to 8 weeks. I think it'll be.
Well, but that's still. I mean, that's the playoffs, and I mean, look, if anyone is going to come back even sooner, it's going to be Gary Payton II. I mean, he wasn't supposed to play in the NBA Finals. He had people keep bringing up that he had a lot of. He's had 5 or 6 previous injuries in the same area, but
it's chronic, isn't it?
It's chronic, but he also
problems.
I don't think he's ever properly treated it either, and he suffered from it at the beginning of last season, and then it was fine by the end. I don't know. I still want him back. Yeah, I still do. I think he could still help the team. The Warriors medical staff is phenomenal. I mean, what they do is, in terms of getting players back fast, is remarkable. I have trust in Rick Celebrini and his department. Yeah, man. I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean, what's
Celebrini? Is it possible that Celebrini's standards are quite a bit different than the Blazers' standards, or do you think that the Blazers are going to be investigated by the league and dock draft picks and cash? Because I mean, seriously, if they really, one thing, there's some conflicting info about this. Did they give him these shots for Payne, or did they not? Did they try to man it? They didn't divulge this to the Warriors, according to Slater. The Warriors are kind of pissed off at Cronin and the Blazers. What do you see happening here? So your prediction is the Warriors will stay with what Monty Poole's got some inside source. They'll stay with GP2. Maybe he can play later on. In some ways, it makes you think that this is not about winning, and this is more about the money savings from Lake Up if they stay with it.
I think it's a few things. I mean, first of all, Gary Payton II has a locker. They already gave him a number. He's going to be number 8. He was sitting in the fourth quarter. They saw him sitting with Mike Dunleavy Jr., the assistant GM tonight. I don't know if Bob Myers came as well.
Myers, yeah.
So he's going to stay. I'm very confident in that. He could come back. There's no official information. So I want to kind of wait a little bit until things are actually announced, before we start kind of discussing his future. But the Warriors got to attack the buyout market. There's still talent out there.
Who do you want? Who do you guys want in the buyout market? Give me the
Sage.
What do you want?
Ibaka?
See, but have you been watching Ibaka? To me, he's noticeably worse with the back problem in this season compared to past seasons. I'm a big Serge Ibaka fan, but I think he's kind of his sell by date, I think, is past.
Well, you remember he came into the league and they thought he was older than his number. So it was pretty dubious when he came in the NBA. Oh yeah, he's either 23, 24, or 5 first-round draft pick.
Why does he have grandkids? GTC Real says, was Quindary Weatherspoon that bad? So I was a big Quindary Weatherspoon man.
Ask Frank. Frank's always given the best answer in terms of why Quindary is not still the team. He nailed it, I think.
Yeah. Basically, everybody knows. The Warriors don't like to negotiate with two-way players, and they felt that they gave him an opportunity to have a career, which is true. And the tough thing about Quindarius is we don't know if it's him, his agent, his friends, or whomever. But in retrospect, clearly he should have did what they asked him to do: take the two-way deal. He would have played himself probably into a Ty Jerome, other two-way guy type role and been successful. So I feel sorry for the young man, to be quite honest with you. He's a good player. He's good. We go back to last year, Christmas Day against Phoenix. He blew up. He helped the Warriors win that game. He can play.
Grilled Cheese says Ibaka is beyond washed, guys. That's Grilled Cheese.
Look, here's the thing. You only need him. He's 33.
Who doesn't like grilled cheese?
Well, I mean, he could be like, all you need is someone to fill the David West role. And, he's only going to need to play 5 to 10 minutes. He can hit the corner three. He's a tough inside player. Yeah. He's not going to hurt, it wouldn't hurt the team. I think he's still.
Well, I think the Warriors, they're
who do you want
kind of locked in with their trades ability to trade because of the type of contracts
the
they had.
Deadline's over. The deadline's
I know.
passed.
So what I'm saying is, you were asking why didn't they do a lot? I don't think they were able to do a whole lot because what they probably would have or should have done is made some deals to upgrade the roster and let go a couple guys that are at the back end of the roster. But they don't. They don't do that.
Like who?
Maybe JaMychal. Maybe you could have got a Sadiq Bey and then a couple of other guys, and maybe let JaMychal Green go.
Mike's playing the best basketball of his Warrior team.
He is, but I think Bay's got more
better. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If I was Bob Myers, I would get Patrick Beverley as a short-term fix.
That's what I was going to bring up, because speaking of
Gary forward Gary Payton II. You plug him in as a short-term fix, and then you get a big, whether it's Dwayne Dedman. Will Barton is also out there too, by the way. I would love him.
It's funny, Dwayne Dedman. We had Grant Napier on yesterday on the live stream, and he obviously was with the Kings, and he said steer clear of Dwayne Dedman.
Yeah, I agree. But Nerlens Noel is out there.
Nerlens Noel is a shot blocker, man, and he's only 26.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
He's got 7'4" wingspan. I don't think that the one thing that I was hoping Wiseman could do would be like, when was the last time the Warriors had somebody who would challenge every shot in the lane?
Yes,
and it's like he would be nice. Taj Gibson would be nice. Give me somebody who's got some length, who's going to be a deterrent, inside. And I think Noel. I know Noel's game is not all refined. His offensive game's pedestrian, but as far as that length and that wingspan and that mindset that he has of, I'm not going to let anything come in my neighborhood, I think he could give the Warriors some good minutes, man. I really do.
I kind of like Kylan's idea of bringing in Boogie Cousins.
Yeah, but that's probably not going to happen though.
No,
Boogie Cousins, no way.
Style.
Well, no, and him and Kerr don't get they don't the issue is him and Kerr. I don't know what the deal is.
Kerr ain't doing that.
Yeah, by the way, somebody said D-Fox is so good. Kings ended up taking the Mavs into OT. Looks like they're going to ice them out. They're up 3 right now with 18 seconds left after Fox 2 free throws.
Val Ramos's Warriors out of gas, need to refuel.
Well, okay, that's the argument for Pat Beverly, honestly, because as much as his reputation is, of course, as this defensive guy, he really is not nearly as good as he used to be.
But he's a pest.
But that's the thing. He's a pest, and at least the guy's going to bring. He's speaking about gas. At least he's going to bring some juice. At least, and maybe he can take some of those texts. I mean, I'd love to see Pat Beverly talking that smack and getting the boys fired up. Him and Draymond out there be menacing, and just him being a pest, him annoying other teams. I think the fans would love him. I think the players would really dig him. And I mean, I think that would be a very good stopgap until Gary Payton comes back.
And he's a better defender than Ty Jerome.
Yeah. Well, the question is, would Pat Bev
yes.
come to the Warriors if he knew GP2 was going to come back this year? Because he may want to sign with a team that he could be on through the playoffs. Because he's not, if he's going to get cut after, say, 2 months.
Yeah, he would only sign for the rest of the year with somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Danny Green, by the way, they're saying may go to the Lakers.
Danny Green's
Everyone's doing stuff, man, and the Warriors are just sitting there. It's insane. I don't understand the why of that. That's the part that puzzles me. I don't.
What is the deal with Iguodala? Is he going to be a contributor at some point? We saw him briefly, and then his hips bothering him again. I mean, how do you count on a guy that sat for 5-6 months with a hip injury, and then he comes back for a week, and then his hips bothering him again?
I mean, he's just a coach. And I guess he's important, right? During a season like this where things could slip away, people could start getting frustrated.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I wonder, is he gonna? Are they gonna like at some point say, "Hey, we're gonna replace his spot," and he's just gonna remain as a, assistant coach then for the rest of the year?
That's not going to happen, I don't think.
What are they going to just waste his spot when they could be grabbing, a couple of notable players that could help him?
No.
Welcome to the loony bin, Dan. That is the Warriors.
I'm fine if Iguodala actually is healthy enough to play, because I think if he's healthy enough, he can help.
I mean, he didn't really do anything last year at all. And Draymond said he was, they wouldn't win the championship without him. So
what do you think of this one? Ghost-faced, where is it? Ghost-faced gangsta. Decide the Warriors are fat cows. They've become complacent after winning it all last year. They've given up.
What?
I don't think so. I don't think this team. There's another level. They just got to not screw around and make sure they get there. Into the tournament, because I heard Draymond say the other day after the Suns got KD and everything, he says, "Are the Suns the best team?" He says, "On paper," he says,
"Yeah,
but this is still the Dubs Invitational until
it might be the Mavericks Invitational. You never know. Mavericks, by the way, beat the Kings 122-114 in overtime in Sacramento. No,
what?
No.
3 with 18 seconds.
No. Am I looking at the wrong?
What's going on here?
Definitely not the Mavs Invitational.
Oh, here, wait. I just was looking at a different Mavs box score. I was looking at the one from the other game. 131-126.
8.3 seconds
with 8.3 left. Kings on top. Excuse me. I was looking at a different deal. And Luka is playing, and Luka's got 25, 9 and 5. 28 for Kyrie, 25 for Luka.
Light the beam.
Light the ball.
They're getting ready to light the beam in Sacramento. Who's playing really well in Sacramento is Keegan Murray. And now in this game, he didn't play particularly well. But, man, Keegan Murray, if the Kings can get some offense out of Keegan Murray, some points, wow. I mean, to me, the one thing I'd like to see from Sacramento, not that people care on Sacramento, but to me, when they get right down to it, they just got a lot of players that are kind of similar skill set as far as there's not a true pecking order. And when it really comes to the playoffs, they've got to make sure only their shooters, their perimeter shooters, shoot the 3 ball. Give you an idea. Davis took 7 tonight for Terrence Davis took 7 threes for Sacramento off the bench. So I don't know. No caps says Larry would love to jump in with you guys live.
Would love that too.
I just sent a little invite. He even threw another 5 ski. Larry,
Look
how
at that.
added?
How can I get added? No cap 757. He's been with us, I think, before. Let him jump in.
You
I
know,
would love that. Hell yeah.
Let's see. We got this
What's
one.
that late that's from
Senior
the Krueg show
softball
in the
games.
chat?
Cy the
Probably-
Kings just won again. Light the beam. Or he just
Light
light
the
the bong.
bong.
Light the bong.
It says light the bong, baby.
What if there was a gigantic bong that came out of the arena and it
Chase.
billowing of the golden one, and it billowed with smoke every time your team won, and it
Popped
kind of
out from the
shook,
top.
and you heard a gigantic when the Kings won as they walked out, you heard the thing smoking, and then you hear people cough. Go Kings!
Michael Beasley to full-time.
G Martinez, F the beam.
Yeah.
Seriously, my brother sends me that every time they win. Light the beam. Like this, Jack.
That actually is kind of cool.
The light the beam.
Yeah.
Well, how high does it go in the air?
I don't
Supposedly-
know.
I asked
I
goes
asked
as
if I could see it from Walnut Creek.
Well,
high enough to get those balloons, I hear.
I had Mark Jones on yesterday, and I asked him about the beam. I said, like, where did this idea even come from? I guess it's new. This is just they started doing it this year, but he said they're about to install a new beam that supposedly is going to be bigger and stronger that can reach space. I guess they're now exploring that option for the beam. So
Oh, wait, that's kind of sick. Okay, I'm just watching a YouTube clip. So they chant, like the whole crowd's chanting "Light the beam"
yeah,
at the end. That's pretty
oh
sick.
yeah.
Maybe the Sacramento Kings could like fly a gigantic balloon over the rest of the world and spy.
Wait, that looks
spy
sick.
balloon.
That actually is sick. I'm just going to show a still of it, but that's sick.
Why is there a link from the Krueg show in the chat for everyone to see? Is that?
Oh, yeah, it's so that Cap can. Right.
Isn't everyone else going to click on that too?
You'd be surprised.
No, they're saving it for no
control.
cap.
Look at that. That's actually kind of cool.
Mm.
That's a pretty good beam.
It's the beam.
That goes up pretty high.
I
It's blue?
guarantee Joe Lacob is so jealous of this thing because he's all about like marketing and for once Vivek got his number with the beam.
The beam.
Yeah,
MF
and,
says the Giants have seagulls crapping on the field.
There you go. That's true.
Seriously, have you ever been to a Giants game and like the game's gone too long because of like some crazy scoring inning or injuries or
empty.
something, and the Seagulls their timing is off, so they think that everybody should be gone, and so like the last inning, you're seriously watching like this. You're looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up.
I never had to worry about the seagulls in my seats because I was covered overhead. But,
I mean, the only thing that makes the Giants worse is if you get crapped on by it. Have you ever been crapped on by a bird? It's not good.
Yes.
No, it's not-
Light the beam on road wins as
Nasty.
well.
Yeah, they light it no matter what.
That's kind of
So
sick.
they win.
If you live in SAC, you don't even have to check the scoreboard on your phone. You just have to look up and see if the beam's lit. That's
Yeah,
sick.
It's like Wrigley
Brilliant
Field.
marketing.
They at Wrigley
Brilliant
Field in
marketing.
Chicago, they fly the W flag,
Damn.
so you can sit there and just look up at the flag and know if the Cubs won.
the beam.
kind of like
Warriors are now
Kinda like-
Kind of like who, Frank?
kind of like
ninth.
Gotham City putting out the like the
Oh,
bat
yeah,
phone.
it's like the bat signal.
The bat signal, the big
Side-
bat
what-
in the sky.
Sai, do you think there's any chance that the Warriors finish with the best record of anyone in their division?
No. There's going to be, it's going to be much harder for them to win the division than the conference or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just because the division is going to be all about the regular season. And, the Warriors aren't going to do anything in the regular season. Well, I heard you talking about that. Are you betting? Are you thinking about betting on it or?
Well, I've got this. I have this master plan sort of that's working out where right now, well, it could work out horribly if the Kings end up winning it. But right now I'd win 721 if the Warriors win it, 240 if the Clippers win it, 240 if the Suns win it, and I lose $800 if the Kings win it.
Ooh.
Even if the Lakers.
Ooh. That's not bad.
oh wow. Well, the Suns will have a good chance of
Yeah.
catching him. When's Durant coming back? And after the All-Star break?
Correct.
Like right after the All-Star break, or is it?
I don't know if it's right after, but at some point. And another, like even Rory Hachimura was lighting it up tonight, and he cost 3 second-round picks. Like you're telling me the Warriors couldn't use a Rory Hachimura? Bob Myers has to do something. This is
That was a
bad
great
look.
trade. That was a great trade.
What was
Hachimura's
his
a phenomenal athlete.
contract? How much was he getting?
Well, he's going to be a free agent after this year, but they agreed to an extension, or at least
But how
terms.
much was he? What was his hit? What was his?
It's the last year of a rookie deal.
Oh, he was like in the
He's cheap.
low digit,
He's
low
cheap.
single
He would have.
digits.
Yes, he would have.
Okay.
He's attainable. Yeah, very
He's
easily.
attainable. Yeah.
Yeah, the
We have
Warriors are just- I don't know what they're
LA
doing.
Night Stalker in the studio. LA, how are you?
Hey,
What's
what's
up,
going
player?
on,
Yeah.
guys?
That's
Well,
no.
Y'all
cap.
can see me?
Hell yeah, man.
What's going on?
All right,
Good
bet.
to see you, brother.
Okay, so I'm gonna just tell you right now. Oh, what's going on, Si?
What's up,
Hey, look.
man?
I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so the core pretty much, man. The core is old, man. They need help.
You talking about Gary Payton?
And no, the core.
You mean the core of the show? You mean like
core
Danny?
guys.
Definitely Dan. Yeah,
Is it, you
definitely
mean the
Dan.
stream's a little old?
No,
Oh no. Okay. Go ahead.
no, the core guys. They need help, man. And they're getting
you
older.
thinking?
You gotta think about it.
Who?
Steph's gonna be 35 in March.
Right.
And
He's a
you
young
look at
30
Clay,
guy.
that same guy. Wiggs, he hit and miss every night. Poole, he be in his head. You already know he's a young guy. They need help. They need help on the bench.
Big time, man.
Who do you
who's
want
gonna
in the
be
buyout?
No,
You know who's gonna
wait, guys.
Sure, man, go ahead.
It's time to trade in one of your core guys, no lie, for bench depth. I looked at Clay alone with his $43 million salary. I came up with 4 solid role players from one team just for Clay. That's how much salary he makes.
Who are you thinking?
Wow.
Who are you thinking though?
They need bench depth to get them through seasons now at this point. They're too old, man.
In off season, if this thing doesn't work out, you're saying don't make the big swing for another star. Let just
No.
big bench depth. I feel you. I feel
Totally agree, man. Totally agree.
I can't. Dude, Clay's a lifer to me, man.
Here's
Clay's a
where
Yeah,
lifer.
I mean that's
will,
the thing.
uh,
I think they're going to the finish line with
Hey,
Clay.
hey, real quick before I go, and GP2, I would not keep. I rescind the trade. And the simple fact that he's had 5 surgeries, he said out his own mouth. I would not keep him. I sent him back for Wise. I know it's going to be awkward as hell, but I
Right.
send Wise to the G League or either play him the rest of the season, send him to the G League. And then after that, I'd send him home for the rest of the season because G League ends earlier than the regular
Right.
season does.
March.
Right. So you don't want him at all on the bench.
No cap. Draymond's going to
No, because it's awkward now, and he doesn't need to be around the vets at all because of everything that's happened. You don't need to have him on national TV or none of that. No.
And
No,
then
Cap,
you
before
want
you
to
go-
trade him for Sadiq Bey in the offseason.
And I trade him for Sadiq Bey or whoever else. It's just a solid guy and stuff like that. We tell him we're sorry about what happened, and we know, you were looking forward to, starting and playing, for the Pistons because Troy Rivers spoke so good about him, and I was like, damn, we gave him hell. I felt bad for myself because I wanted Wiseman gone, but the way
A lot
Troy
of us
Rivers,
did.
yeah, the way Troy Rivers spoke about him, I said, man, damn, he actually has another chance for real. So I
Hey,
feel
before you
bad
go-
bringing him back, but go ahead.
Before you go, and I forgot this is a name that's been floated out there that might become available in the buyout market. Not a big,
Right.
but
Right.
I'm excited if he's available and the Warriors get him. I'd love it. Seth Curry. Steph's brother.
They're going to buy him out.
No way.
Yeah, they might
no
buy
way
him out.
Seth Curry it's no way Seth Curry gets bought out. No way.
He
No
might.
way.
No, he
I
might.
don't know. There's a lot of
No way.
there's a
No,
lot of
didn't he have multiple years left?
No, he's an unrestricted free agent.
Oh, he's
after this
free?
year, and the Nets are going to be a championship contender. So
I don't know. I think
No, they're
pretty
not.
good to me.
No, they're not
Nets?
going to be. So then why not buy him out? If they're trying to get a look at all of their new pieces, all their young pieces, why not
Yeah.
buy them out? It makes sense. It does make sense.
Seth Curry would be a nice. That would be a nice ad.
That'd be awesome.
Their whole team is wings. It's like it kind of doesn't make sense. Like too many players. Plus, like Cam Thomas's emergence. I think, I mean that actually kind of makes sense. And God damn it, Steph, get your ass over here.
I
I
love
like
it.
No Cap's idea though. I like
Hey,
Sadiq
one
Bey.
more thing,
Yeah.
guys, before I go.
Yeah.
And in the off season, I would seriously, and Poole is my favorite guy. I really want him to go to the Magic with the young guys, but I would love him on the Magic, and they wanted to sign him too before the Warriors extended him. But I would love if you have to, you could flip Wiggins or Poole for Mikal Bridges and what is it, Cam Thompson? Not Cam, not the little kid, not the kid, but the light skinned guy who just came from the Suns.
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
If I could do that deal for Poole and then pair him and with the Nets with the kid who just dropped 40 like 3 games in a row, Thomas.
That's Cam Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do it. Bye,
Bro,
guys.
you're just giving up. You're selling out Klay Thompson. You're 4-time champion. You're selling
Man,
out.
he gotta
Wiggins,
go.
who's won a
He
title
gotta
last
go,
year.
bro.
Wait,
Selling him out.
It's time to shake the roster up, Si. We too old, man. The core is
Cap,
old.
you never
as
been
hell,
on Clay's boat. You wouldn't be saying that if you had got around on Clay's boat.
Hey, no
You know,
cap. Are you a
you
Bay
know?
guy? Or are you around the country?
No, I'm actually in Oakland.
There you
Okay.
go. All right.
Yeah, I'm actually
Hey,
in
man.
Oakland. Yeah.
Have a good
All
night.
right.
Go Warriors.
Okay,
Thanks for
guys.
jumping
Good night.
in.
Meet you, man. Yeah,
No
it's a
cap.
pleasure, dude.
I was
Okay.
gonna. The background sound was a little buzzing there, but I know he had to go. But I'll give you a different thought. I do understand his take, and
Trout?
I understand what he's saying, but
Dan.
what I disagree. Where I disagree is there's 2 seasons, and the Warriors are not playing. They're just playing to get into the dance, and then those vets
Yeah.
you're going to need them, and the Warriors aren't as concerned about. They do need a little bit more depth, 1, maybe 2 guys, and I think that's their plan is they use these two-way guys to try and. I mean, they probably use two-way guys more than anybody in the league, I'm sure. So they're trying to do that and get into the playoffs and have those vets take them to another chip. And I don't think you get rid of the vets.
I agree with you, Dan. I mean, and that's why the series is so great in NBA. They did away with playing back-to-backs. All you got to do is win one game on the opposition's court, and you're in the driver's seat. And we
In every series for years.
we all know that the Warriors' success is predicated on how well they shoot. And the top of the spear is Steph Curry. If Steph plays well, the Warriors can beat anybody. If he doesn't, then they're going to lose. As simple as that.
Right.
Well, hey, Cy, wanted to throw this one at you. I'm plagiarizing Dan's thing from earlier, but we were talking last night, and we were just throwing stuff around, and Dan brought up the idea of, with Portland clearly kind of making these moves that do not seem to be, we're trying to contend. They're all like kind of looking towards the future, bringing in Knox, bringing in Reddish, bringing it, trying to hit on guys. Thibault. And also, with Shaden Sharp and Simons is young. What do you think about trading in the offseason if things don't work out? What do you think about trading Poole, Wiseman, 3 first-round picks for Dame Lillard?
No.
You wouldn't upgrading Poole?
He's small, dude. No.
Yeah,
absolutely not. He's old. He's small. He's just not what they need, man. And by the way, the Seth Curry thing would be in addition to everything else I want. Like, I'm not saying Seth Curry instead of a big, just because. No, Dame Lillard, man. Because
are the Warriors going to be able to attract a buyout candidate? I mean, it seems. I mean, buyout.
Are you saying the Warriors are becoming the Giants?
Buyout players are usually ring chasers. Are they going to be able to land a ring chaser?
I don't know, but Dame Lillard is like 6'2". I just don't think.
But Poole's he's the same as Poole. Both.
But it's age thing, but it's 10 years difference. Like, you're giving up the future.
I know that's what you would be doing. You'd be giving up the future, because if it doesn't work out this year, I think Poole's going to be a primary reason why.
I wouldn't.
Saw in the finals, like, Poole kind of got played off the court a few times. Dame Lillard's not getting played off the court. And there's also the thing of, hey, if Steph has another one of these reoccurring injuries, all of a sudden, boom. Dame Lillard, he can carry some of those minutes. It's kind of like the McCaffrey.
He could. Did you guys hear the rumor that Steph demanded Wiseman to be traded? Did you?
Where'd you get that from?
I just saw that online. That
somebody can make up anything, though. I think and just.
Well, no, there was some. It was. I don't have it in front of me, but there was some credible.
I never heard. No, I'm gonna look it up. But that's interesting.
That he wanted the Warriors to make the move for GP2. I don't know. It's a tough call now on GP2, because it's like, what, GP2, how much of this trade was made for them to go for it this year? How much of this trade was made to free themselves of the cap burden? So we don't know exactly the motivation behind the deal. So it's hard to say where their motivation is now. It sounds like they're leaning towards going through with the trade, but man, it just sucks. It just sucks. They either took the wrong guy or they're selling really low on him. And then it's like, I could get it. I understood, I guess, because Steph is so special that the idea of selling off Wiseman for more help this year, it made sense to me.
Save money.
It made sense to me, but now that you don't have Poole, I mean, you don't have Payton, and it's odds are he's not going to play very much this year, and he's had this surgery and he's multiple surgeries. He seems like a recurring thing. I'd rather back out and who cares about the awkwardness and retain the better asset. To me, if they don't back out of this trade, it's like, wow. I mean, now you really got taken because, I mean, you think Gary Payton's going to be healthier in the future? That doesn't make any sense.
I do. What doesn't that make sense? I mean, the guy
he's on the wrong side of 30 and he's had 5 surgeries on the same
surgeries. He's been checked out. And keep in mind, a lot of those injuries were
older people don't typically get healthier.
I know, but
he's
barely played this year. So
he did say he had 4 surgeries in the same area. I thought
some of them were like very minor procedures. They weren't like these invasive like surgeries.
I mean, don't you think he's going to have more physical maladies as his career goes on? Doesn't that make sense?
Again, he played for G League teams. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if one of these procedures was in Mexico by a 20-year-old doctor. I mean, he hasn't been a part of anything major most of his life. I'd like to see him actually get treated properly for once. Not to mention he's tough. He's like the toughest guy on the team. If anyone's coming back, it's him. I think he's coming back and playing. I'm confident of it. If
they keep this deal together, they must think he's coming back sooner than the 3-month period because that's mid-May.
It isn't just that; it's money. They're saving $7 million this year, 30 next year. That's a part of it. Mm-hmm. Part of it is the fact that if they don't make the deal, how awkward is Wiseman coming back? Plus, you've officially given up on the championship this year. That's gone. So, I mean, that's
I mean, to me, it seems like the buyout market is a whole second chance for them.
Well, why not do both? Why not get Gary Payton II and the buyout market?
Because it doesn't sound like there's guarantees that Gary Payton's even going to play at all.
Well, but again, if he doesn't play, you're screwed. You don't win a title. If he does play, you have a shot. So I don't understand why you wouldn't keep him regardless. You know,
they're a 500 team, 56 games in, and their title worthiness is tied to a defensive backup guard.
Well, I mean, I don't know what we all come into the season at the beginning of the year when we were having these like debates about how worried we were. Everyone was saying, well, it's because look what they let go. They let go GP2. They let go Otto Porter. And it's like, we kind of got the Otto Porter thing replaced with what the guys they have. Now they have a chance to get GP back for the playoffs.
Larry, you just said yesterday.
For the playoffs? I mean, wait a second. It's February the 11th. They said 3 months. That's March 11th, April 11th, May 11th.
Yeah, so early playoffs. Playoffs to come back.
What's the playoffs?
That's the middle of the playoffs. That's the middle of the second round, May 11th.
NBA Finals are June. And again, Larry, just yesterday or the day before, you said the Warriors wouldn't have been the Celtics without Gary Payton II. Why are you backtracking?
I like Gary Payton II, but I mean, you sold tomorrow for today, and now today is in question.
Maybe
I'd almost rather hit the reset.
I think Wiseman's done. I think Wiseman's.
You think he's done?
I don't think he's ever going to do anything. That's my prediction.
He's never going to do anything with the Warriors.
With anyone. I don't think he's ever going to do anything, period. I really do. That's my prediction. He's going to be a Marvin Bagley, is what I predict.
He'll be in the league a long time, but he may not.
He might, yeah. But Marvin Bagley, that's what I predict for James Wiseman's future. Marvin
if he goes
Bagley.
to Miami, he'll be a player.
GTC Real says Larry Buttcrack Sports isn't a reliable source, LOL. And we get this one who says, this is how I kind of feel. It's like, I like GP2, but I agree with Sam. GP2's damaged goods.
How about wait until we get official news? We have nothing official yet.
What do you mean?
This is all speculation. Like,
official on the trade?
All we know is that he failed the physical. We don't know the specifics of why exactly. All we know is Anthony Slater's anonymous sources and Sham's anonymous sources. Like, I like to first get some concrete information and then kind of, have feelings about this. Like right now, we don't know for sure. I mean, maybe it's not that serious, like, I don't know. I'm trying to be
Speaking of physicals, do you remember in school, what was that thing we used to have to do? They called it the scholastic testing or whatever when they did the physical. Did you guys
the 1920s?
Did that, right?
No,
you had to do like you did side steps and you had to count how many side and you had to do chin ups, pull ups, sit ups. Don't you remember all that?
Yeah.
What about it?
I was just thinking about it. I failed I couldn't do the pull ups. I could do everything else. I mastered them, but
Pull-ups are hard.
We had a pegboard with wooden pegs.
Oh yeah.
And you climb.
You had to climb to the
That's
top.
hard too, man.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it as a kid. I couldn't do it. Now I could do it because I work. But that's a test of if you're in shape. I think pull-ups
well, it favors the short stock. It favors the short
small
kid.
little guy.
If you have long legs, and you're 11, you're gonna have a hard time doing pull-ups or the pegboard. But I mean, you gotta have a certain upper body strength.
I'm 5'11" right now. I was 5'11" in 8th grade. I stopped growing.
You stopped growing in the 8th grade?
Yeah, when I was playing guard, and I was a ball handling guard in 8th grade, and I used to smoke everybody. And the varsity coach was like, "Oh man, all of a sudden, I'm going to be like varsity in a couple years." And then everybody passed me by. I got to varsity, but I wasn't what I was at 8th grade, man. I thought I was going to be, 6'1", but I stopped growing. So,
does the 55 and over community have a team?
Yeah, I dominate. I slam dunk on these old guys.
Here's another issue about the Warriors, by the way.
Is there a dangerous side of your gated community? Like, is there like a part of the gated community that's kind of like, don't get caught there after 5 o'clock at night? Dude, seriously, when the cameras go off and you're in the wrong side of the gated community, shit goes down. No?
Is there a liquor store in your community?
I don't know.
Did you hear the Trailblazers GM on it? I was just listening to it. He said that they were playing him because he was healthy, and if he was not healthy, they would not be playing him.
Well, what about the shots? So they supposedly gave him to help him play.
But Gary Payton's agent refuted it. He said he never took any Toradol shots. So it's kind of like a he said, she said.
Where did that come from then?
I don't know.
Anthony Slater and Shams. They're the ones reporting this. So
yeah.
I don't know who's telling them. But that's,
No Cap says, send a live link, Larry. I should be a regular because I'm a realistic Dubs fan. No Cap, we'll have you back. We'll have you back. We definitely need representation since we're around the country so much. We need local representation at all time.
He's Oakland, he said. Yeah.
Digital Drew says, Dan has them eyes wide shut parties, LOL. His Raven mask is right behind him somewhere.
Chauncey Billups' quote was, "We would never push a guy to play, whether it's medical or he just doesn't feel like playing. I'd be scared of doing that, and then something bad happens."
Yeah, I mean, of course,
maybe Warriors are just thinking about this. Maybe they are saying all this because they do see that he could get better if he rests, and they're just setting fans' expectations, because if they traded for him and he doesn't play for a month and a half, it'd be like, I mean,
they're holding up a 4-team trade. No, I don't think that's
here it is. Aaron Goodwin, the agent of Gary Payton, tells NBA on TNT and at Bleacher Report, this is Chris Haynes, that despite of what's being reported, my client never took Toradol shots to be available for games during his time in Portland.
There you go.
I guess you could talk. Okay, that could be some really lawyery type stuff, because he says my client never took Toradol shots to be available for games. Could be that he did it in off.
But the story also says that he took them so that he could play. So you're right. It could be lawyer talk, but it hopefully not. I mean, I don't know, man. Have we lost all trust in Bob Myers? And like if he decides to keep Gary Payton II, we're just gonna say,
no.
I know more than you. I mean, I don't know. I don't think you would.
Well, the owner plays a role in this process too, right?
What does?
Well, and just because you question something doesn't mean you know. You're saying that you know more. I mean, you question Kerr 15 times a week. You think you know more than Kerr?
There's evidence of him making a lot of mistakes, and this whole season's a disaster. But
come on, Cy. So Steve Kerr, who's got all these rings, but Cy, locked on Cy's got a bit more knowledge than Kerr.
Well, I mean, look.
Just humble yourself, Cy. Come on.
I think the bottom line is all good fans question these moves, whether they be GM moves, coaching moves. That's what it is to be a fan. You question these things, and the people who sit there and go, "Well, you don't have the credentials."
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is, I think that's a whole other discussion. I think I'm team Bob Myers. If you told me Kerr or Myers, which one do you have more faith in? I'm Bob Myers all day, every day. Like I think this dynasty is much more because of him than because of Steve Kerr. That's just me though. But again, another opinion. Yeah.
Well, Kerr did jump the team significantly. The one I think Kerr's underrated because I think Kerr does bring the whole team along. The team did jump from 50 wins to 67 wins. He's had unbelievable amounts of success. Kerr doesn't have the eggs on his, Bob Myers has laid some eggs. I like Bob Myers too. I mean, I consider him a friend. I talk to him, but I mean, come on. I mean, he's made some mistakes. Jordan Bell, Jacob Evans, Mannion, Pace Mannion's kid.
Those are late picks, though. Those are late picks. Wiseman's an egg. Wiseman is an egg, man.
I mean, that's probably. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know who made this pick.
All of them. They're all.
Well, all of them. I mean, yeah, they're going to hide in strength in numbers. But
no, I don't think one person made that move.
Guys are jumping over each other to take credit when things go well. I'd like to see somebody stand up and say that it was their call when things go bad. I mean, doesn't that seem somewhat equitable? I mean,
I think
how many people
said,
Larry Riley didn't run from I drafted Steph Curry. He seemed like he kind of leaned into it a little bit. So if you're gonna take the I was right, then somebody should own up and say, hey man, it was me. It was my pick.
Well, I think Bob Myers is a humble guy who he never takes credit for anything. And he'll take the blame, but he won't actually take the credit. But I think that was a consensus. Lacob, Kerr, Myers, whether it be Riley. I think,
that draft too. I mean, Clay, a difficult draft. I mean, you could see these guys.
Clay, they had to make a decision in a day. They were probably going with Wiseman, and then Clay, blew out his Achilles.
But that doesn't make any sense. If they were going to adjust because of the Clay injury, they would have adjusted to a small.
Well, I think what they thought was, do we go with we got Poole? Do we go with LaMelo? I mean, what are we going to do if we go with LaMelo?
At that point, to be fair.
And then it's like you have to trade up if you want to get, kid from Minnesota, or you could have taken Halliburton, I guess, or
that's the one that hurts, but
or the other guy from SC, the Okongwu.
The real issue, he's never had a chance.
Yeah,
that's the issue. I mean,
Wiseman had a rough break. He came in COVID year, right? Was it the year of COVID? He came in.
Yeah,
that's okay. He comes in and he can't even practice. He misses it. He misses camp. He misses.
Yeah, but he's had a lot of DNPs also, though.
Right. But he missed summer, and then the next year he gets hurt.
He dominated the summer league.
He did.
He dominated the summer league.
This year? You mean this past year?
Yeah.
Yes.
The first one. Yeah.
They never gave him a chance.
They never played him for an extended period. Come on. This guy's never had extended run anywhere.
He's got a lot of talent. He's got raw talent.
I think he might be one of those guys that would be suited, and this was not for the Dubs would not want this, but he'd be maybe suited in that Jaren Jackson role where you have a Steven Adams or something like that, and he doesn't actually have to play traditional center. He can kind of play a little bit more of a hybrid wing type thing, and then on defense, he's just a free safety just trying to block shots. I almost think that would be a better situation.
I wish him luck because it is interesting.
He's a good kid.
The whole thing has
as well.
The entire the Warriors got a shot, but I don't think they got a great shot. They have a shot. Mm-hmm. But I think there's this is the most wild. I can't ever remember what we would consider an NBA pennant race, but I mean, it kind of seems like we're due or we're set up here for exactly that, like an NBA type pennant race. I mean, could you imagine what March and April are going to be like coming down the stretch? I mean, look at this thing. You've got Sacramento at 6.5 games behind Denver. Dallas is 2 games behind them. So are Phoenix. Clippers are 2.5 behind them. Pelicans are 3.5 back. So are the T-Wolves. The Warriors are 4 back. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's wide open. I mean, this thing, you got the Lakers who are going to be coming up from behind, trying to make a late run to get a playoff spot. I mean, it's just, to me, it's going to be the rest of March. I mean, the rest of February and all of March and April, it's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching. This is the most scoreboard watching I think I can ever remember doing in the NBA, which I think is probably going to be a good thing for the NBA. But I'll say the reset on at the trade deadline has been incredibly interesting, and to me has made the finishing kick here really, really intriguing. I don't know how you guys view it, but I mean, it's going to be an absolute dogfight down the stretch for not just who makes it, who can avoid that 7 spot in the play-in.
Hey, you've got 10 teams.
Oh, sorry.
10 teams between the Lakers at 13 and Dallas at 4, and they're only separated by 4.5 games. That's the Lakers are 4.5 games out of 4th place.
Every game's a playoff game, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's
why these past 2 games were just brutal.
And it's going to be, and it's kind of like, you can say the Warriors haven't gotten on a run, and there's no doubt about that, right? I mean, you know, the Warriors haven't gotten on a run, but what about the rest of these teams, And, I think Dallas could get on a run. I think Phoenix could get on a run. I think the Clippers could get on a run. We don't even mention that Zion Williamson had the Pelicans really cooking early, and now he's been out. He's coming back. They're going to get on a run. You'd like to think the Warriors might be able to get on a run if they can get, Steph back and maybe some help in the buyout market. The Lakers are going to make a run at it. So I don't know. I think this is going to be really juicy down the stretch, and it's going to be a nightly reshuffling.
Hey, upper seed's going to lose, and I think that's what the Warriors are kind of banking on. There's going to be an upper seed that loses a series in the opening round.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't even talked about Memphis. I mean,
or Denver.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good teams, man. This is awesome.
Oh, Reggie Jackson going to Denver, by the way, I think helps them immeasurably. People forget Reggie Jackson last year in the playoffs went for 17 a game in the playoffs. Yeah. He was terrific.
And the Warriors are doing nothing. The Warriors are just they got to do something.
And he's going to Denver. I mean,
they got to do something.
It's a great move for Denver, I think. 808 Niners says Wiggs don't look right on both ends, and Clay isn't that dude on D. Kuminga needs to be on the floor in the 4th because Jerome won't sniff any minutes in the playoffs. The fact that Kuminga, to me, I defer to Kerr on a lot of things. I don't love the distribution of minutes for Jonathan Kuminga. I just think that, Kuminga just has so much potential. And, to me, without GP2, Kuminga is one of your best on-ball defenders. And the fact that you're struggling to get stops on defense and he can't really get any minutes in the 4th quarter, I don't get it. Sometimes I just kind of wonder about the wisdom of some of these moves. Now, they do have a lot of choices, but I just think that Kuminga gets lost. I'm not sure why.
I just did my we were talking this pennant race. I just put my 8 teams together who I think will be the final 8. I'm going to take Denver 1, Memphis 2, Phoenix going to be 3rd, Clippers 4. I think Sac ends at 5. I think the Warriors sneak into the 6th spot, New Orleans 7, and I think the Lakers will somehow get into the play-in and get that 8th spot.
The league will be happy about that, right? Anything to engage that LA market, for sure. I mean, they would love that.
That would mean the Warriors, if that finished that way, that would be not too good because they face Phoenix the first round.
One thing I want to mention here before we move any further is special thanks to our sponsor today's show, New York Style Italian Sausage. Phenomenal product. Check them out. New York Style Sausage. If you're barbecuing, get the Italian mild, the Italian spicy, often imitated, never equaled. Pasquale and Company. Check out New York Style.
Oops, Italian I left out sausage. Dallas somehow. I messed up. Dallas will be in there. Forget the
Lakers.
Pelicans or the Lakers. One of those.
Well, no, I think the Pelicans are going to get hot. I mean, what do you guys think about the Pelicans down the stretch? Zion, I think getting Zion's back is better than most of these buyout candidates.
They haven't improved their point guard position, and that kind of concerns me a little bit because these games are going to come down to half-court execution in the 4th quarter, and I'm concerned about their point guard play.
Yeah, Dallas will be somewhere in that mix. They may even be ahead of the Warriors. So hopefully the Warriors don't end up in that play-in game. But if you're going to be in the play-in, get the 7 or 8 because you only have to win one game.
Well, yeah.
By the way, for you UFC fans, Islam Makhachev sealed his claim as one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world. He beat Volkanovski tonight by a unanimous decision to retain the lightweight title. So Javier Mendez, I believe, trains Makhachev, so he gets the win in the UFC 284 main event, the title fight, the lightweight title fight. You guys watch UFC? Are you guys UFC guys? I was a lot more during the pandemic than I am now that all the major sports are cooking. But I'll watch it. I'll sit there and watch a good UFC fight. You guys into it at all?
Behind the scenes guy does, right? Len?
Yeah, Len's really into it. I mean, he knows Javier Mendez, and obviously Javier trained Khabib, who was a great champion for sure. This also is kind of interesting to me. A lot of people feel like the 49ers this week have displayed sour grapes in Arizona, talking about the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
But Deebo Samuel has taken it to another level. Did you guys see Deebo's comments?
Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
Please repeat them.
Deebo goes on and did an interview with Mad Dog Russo, who Danny went up to at the winter meetings, and said that not only would the Niners have won the NFC Championship game if Brock Purdy had been able to stay healthy, but he also said they could have won by double digits.
I agree.
He said, just look at how well our defense was actually playing, keeping Jalen in the pocket, which he doesn't like to do at all, Samuel said. So the Eagles' offense wasn't doing anything. Our defense was doing what they were supposed to. And I feel like if Brock was in as our quarterback and how our offense moves, I don't think it would have been close.
They were fired up.
That's what I see as well, man. But people are saying in huge number that the Niners are sour grapes. I'll say this. I think it's refreshing as hell. There's so many athletes that get asked tough questions and they just beg out with the, you never know. You just never know. Anything could have happened, but they don't, they're not like, they don't actually say what they actually think. Robbie Gould, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, these guys are being asked about that NFC Championship game and they're not running from it, man. They're like, hey, we think we would have won. And Deebo just said what a lot of us Niner fans also believe, that they would have won big. I personally think the Niners would have won big too, but it plays like a destruction of the 49ers. And people are like, I've heard this stat. The Eagles have outscored their 2 playoff opponents. Yeah. So what? You had the New York Giants at home, who borderline shouldn't even have been a playoff team if they don't get a bunch of calls against the Commanders late in the year. And then you get the Niners with their 4th-string quarterback. So I think Kansas City's going to give them a comeuppance.
If you start going through the quarterbacks they played this year, it's hilarious. The only 2 decent quarterbacks they played were Dak Prescott, who beat them, and they allowed like over 30 points, and Aaron Rodgers, who they did end up beating, but they allowed 30 points. Yeah.
Right. And that was an overtime game.
Everybody else was crappy.
The only challenge that I have with what those guys are saying is they say, well, I don't want to watch the game. I mean, come on, man.
It's weird, though. It's kind of how football players are. They don't really care about.
Do you love football? I mean,
it's like getting kicked out of a party. You want to sit there and watch video of some party going on that you just get kicked out of.
And also it's like going around, like when we were doing this stuff in the locker room, when they would make us do things like, go ask your favorite Super Bowl halftime or your favorite Super Bowl moment. Most of these guys can't even recall because they they just want to play, which I think is weird, but I mean, whatever. I guess it works for them.
I mean, celebrate the season. I mean, there's a guy in Buffalo, Dalvin. I mean, the guy was lucky to have his eyes open. You had a great year. Injuries happen. We all knew if anybody got a clean shot on Purdy, he was going to get hurt. Everybody knew that. And yet they had a great year, and yet they could beat the Eagles. But there's so many great players of the 49ers. At this point, when you give everything you have, like I love Kittle. I love Kittle's comments. I love this guy. But to say that you're not going to embrace football because we lost. I'm not going to watch the game. You know, I don't like.
I know. I mean, you know, it is amazing though how many guys are not really fans of the game.
It is.
I asked Drake Jackson. I'm like, hey man, when you're not playing, do you watch the games? Like, oh yeah. I watch. I watch the games for sure. But like Ryan and I talked to, excuse me, other guys in the room, and they'd be like, no man, I'm gonna shut it. When I shut it down, I shut it down. Some guys are just good at it. And they're not fans of the game. Other guys are like fans of the game, like real fans, and they're like wrapped up in it. So it's just, to each their own. It is.
Hey, what'd you guys think of? I sent that picture to Ride before the show. You see LeBron tonight. I don't know. It's like I don't know why I get so irritated with him, but he walks in with this bright green hat that is so, hey, look, it's LeBron. It's like you can spot him from the last seat, and then he wore sunglasses the whole game on the bench. I was like, what's that about? I mean, it just doesn't, I don't know. I don't know why it bugged me, but it's like, I just couldn't see Steph, trying to like show up, and I mean, he also walked in right after the tip off, and it's like he wasn't on the bench to start. He walks in, game's going on, big Celtics, looks like a brighter than green Celtics hat. It just was.
You guys
He's
think,
a diva. He's a diva.
If the stuff that's coming out now about, I've heard it on a few podcasts. I haven't really been like looking for the reporting on it, but apparently, some of the stuff about that AD being all butthurt was that the day before. He got wind that LeBron was trying to trade him in a deal for KD.
Whoa.
Where'd you read that though? I
heard it on the mismatch with Kevin O'Connor and Chris Vernon.
Gotcha.
And then I heard it on one other podcast. I don't even remember, but yeah. I know. Yeah.
How do you watch a basketball game indoors with sunglasses? I mean, it's not like Stevie Wonder. I mean, I don't get it. It's just like, I know it looks cool, but it's like you're on the bench. Hey, what was cool though was the 12-year-old girl. Did you hear her? She was so good at like knowledge of the game and of LeBron, and she was like, man, she's gonna be. You watch, that take's gonna get her somewhere. She's gonna get, somebody's gonna get her into the media. She was really sharp for 12 years old. I mean,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You didn't see the interview of her?
I saw it, Dan, and she was awesome. But I immediately started thinking, wow, she must have some really good connects. How do you?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought too. I'm like,
as a 12-year-old kid, are you kidding me?
Yeah, her daddy probably bought him, or somebody. But
I mean, I'm like, wow, and I mean, I've seen really, really smart and eloquent young kids, so I wasn't surprised by that. I mean, she was awesome, but I just started thinking, man, she's in she's in the 1%.
It was a little much. I thought it was a little much, in all honesty, man. Like, I'm like, okay, who's this like child of privilege that?
Yeah.
It's exactly. Like she already has like the best seats in the house. You got to give her like 2 minutes of attention too, because like okay, great. Like, I don't know.
It's probably rehearsed before the game.
No, that was all extemporaneous, man. She was awesome.
No, she was good though. She was good. I was like, man, she really is.
Yeah, she was a cute kid.
Yeah.
I thought.
Do you guys will you guys wager on the Super Bowl tomorrow? Where are you guys watching the bowl tomorrow?
I honestly, I'm like George Kittle. Like, I haven't even thought about it. I'm so like, oh God, dang.
Do we have a consensus? I'm going Chiefs. So we have a pick?
The only bet I made was I made 2 on the game like maybe a week and a half ago. I bet the Eagles to win the first half, and I bet the Eagles to win the first half and the Chiefs to win the game at 6-1.
How do you guys bet? I that's the part that bums me out. Like, we fucking lost we lost that initiative last year. I mean, I want my FanDuel, man. I suppose the app is like a video game. You can just
FanDuel is awesome.
I'll take your action, Si. I'll take your action.
Will you?
Send me the money. I'll place your bet on FanDuel.
Oh, you got in Arizona, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I got my own guy. I got a guy, Si. I got a guy.
You go old school, Larry?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
I got a
love it.
guy.
I love it.
I've got a
I think
guy that is
He's got 15 units right now at Cal Poly, but yeah, I've got a guy.
There's my FanDuel.
My guy's at a fraternity party right now tapping the keg, but yeah, I got a guy.
What's the Chiefs money line right now?
Oh, it's what? Probably plus 120.
I may be I might go to the game.
Whoa! Really? Oh, look at you. Look at Dan.
I might. If tickets come through at the last minute, which is a possibility, slim, but they may come through.
Ooh.
Val Ramos says he's got money on the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs 35-31. I think it's going to be kind of high scoring. I don't think Kansas City I think Mahomes and Andy Reid with 2 weeks to prepare.
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
Kansas City's going to score. And then I look at Philly, and you know what? Philadelphia scores fast. They're explosive, and I think they'll be able to have some success running it. And I think they'll score on Kansas City's defense. I kind of like both offenses to kind of win, and so I think it's going to be kind of a little bit of a shootout. And I just think Mahomes. I'll take Mahomes and Reid in a shootout, especially with Eric Bieniemy trying to show everybody that he's head coaching material. A lot of talk that Eric Bieniemy is gonna get the Indy job. It's long overdue. He's one of the great offensive coordinators in the game, and I think this is the Eric Bieniemy show. And I think at the end of this, we're going to be talking about him, and he's going to be the new head coach of the Colts. And
your buddy Jim, man, I love your buddy Jim.
Malay.
Malay.
This one. I bought a shit ton of squares, fat pool squares.
That too. Everything he writes. He's comedy, dude. Give me 50, Larry, will you, on the money line, Chiefs?
Chiefs on the money line? Molay says,
and I'll Venmo you if
it. I mean, it's Dan, but better than nothing. Look at that. Look at Molay. Danny, could you be our Super Bowl correspondent? I mean,
if I get some tickets, I'll
just promise me if you get in there that you start every little thing that we tape with Brent Musburger. You're looking live.
Looking live here.
You're looking live at Danco Chamilio here at State Farm Stadium. Is that what it's called? State
Farm Stadium.
Really?
In Glendale, Arizona.
Now, is the grass outside and they pull it in?
It's on a
it's on like a belt or something.
Yeah, it just moves itself in and out. Yeah, they get sun and water during the week, and it's probably in now. I'm sure it's in. And
look at Val Ramos. No, not a lot of confidence there. Dan not going to the Super Bowl unless Val's got your tickets. Maybe
no. It's low odds, but it's a possibility, and it would be from a friend of the Krueg show.
Really?
Yeah.
Ned Coletti.
Wow.
No.
Yeah. You know what's weird is even though I'm like really kind of
Randy Crawford's wife? Who exactly who's sending you there?
Well, it really is it's a long shot. It depends. I'll just say this without saying names. You know him well. I'll just say this.
Border to border.
Now,
coast to coast.
If some corporate sponsors don't end up taking the tickets, they'll be available. It depends on if they all go.
Will you guys spend any time watching the halftime show?
No.
What is it? What's the plan?
I will. I want to see some of it. Yeah.
It's Rihanna, right?
Yes.
Rihanna.
I like Rihanna.
I thought the halftime show last year was awesome.
Who was it? I forgot already.
It was like all the LA guys. It was Snoop and Cube and
Eminem.
Yeah. I mean, I thought last year's halftime show was maybe the best one I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was really good.
Where would you put? I mean, like you can't win in those things. Like I was watching some NFL Pro Bowl thing, and they're like, the lady, the girl hosting it was Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting there going, what?
Oh, yeah.
How does Kelly Clarkson
I saw a bit of
singing off of her song.
What
was the event though?
Kittle singing.
It was like a Pro Bowl event. I think it was the Pro Bowl, something from Vegas, and she was like, and Kelly Clarkson hosted.
And George Kittle singing, right? And George Kittle singing like a song during the middle of this thing. Is that correct?
Right, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of Kelly Clark. It was a takeoff on her song, "I'm Miserable" or something without you, or something like that, or whatever the title is. Yeah.
By the way, today's on this date in 2004. The greatness that is Brian Cardinal. Remember that guy? He looked like Homer Simpson.
The custodian.
Yeah, he scored.
Hey, did you guys see
the custodian? Wait, what about him? Wait, hold on a second.
2 points. 32.
Who?
32 for the custodian? What year was that?
2004.
Dude, I love the custodian. I'll say this. Say what you want about Brian Cardinal, but Gene Katie knows how to coach. And those guys are fundamentally sound. This guy doesn't. He knew how to play, man. He absolutely knew how to play.
Yeah. He held on to those 3 strands of hair for as long as he could. Like,
hey, speaking of the hair, what's its name's the guy? I can't think of his name now, but the Mavericks.
His name's
what's the guy in the Mavericks?
Oh, the guy in the Mavericks
that puts. It looks like he puts like
Jason Kidd.
No, the player now. It looks
Donnie
like
Nelson.
Calbert
the guy that puts the stuff in his hair. It looks like
Brandon Crawford.
Carrot roots or something or whatever. The
guy, I don't know.
That guy. He puts that thing.
Reggie, I hate when that guy puts that thing there.
I'm just. It's late here. I gotta. I'll think of his.
By the way,
look up his name.
By the way,
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about.
Speaking of the halftime show, because this is not going to see the light of day, because the Niners ended up not making it to the Super Bowl. I'm
Reggie.
on my little
Reggie Bullock. You're talking about Reggie Bullock from Carolina.
Bullock. What's that stuff in his hair?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I mean, it looks like food. It looks like that root stuff, where we ginger root or something.
Yeah,
that's actually. Let me say this. That's I don't want it, but that's actually, like an ode to his sister, I believe that.
Jesus, Dan.
That died.
Dan.
Oh, God damn it.
Jesus, Dan.
Dan, how do you feel about that?
What the fuck, Dan?
God damn it, Dan. It was an ode to his sister, you son of a bitch.
Ode to his sister.
You insensitive son of a bitch.
Hey, I'm going to play this.
God damn it.
I'm going to play this Rihanna Super Bowl halftime thing that I did because it's not going to see the light.
Si's losing it. Go ahead, Ryan.
Favorite Super Bowl halftime show?
No doubt. I'm gonna go with Purple Rain. Purple Rain, my dog. He definitely did his thing. And then I like Rihanna. I heard Rihanna's coming up.
All right. Hey, on that subject, favorite Rihanna song?
I like Rihanna a lot, but my favorite song would be Wild Thoughts by Rihanna. Yeah, she did her thing for sure. Shout out Rihanna for sure.
All right, I'm sending this right to her. All right.
Do it.
So, my favorite Rihanna song is probably gonna have to be the Love Song that goes. I ain't gonna sing it for y'all, but y'all know what it is. And then my favorite halftime Super Bowl show probably gonna be. The most recent one with the LA theme.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jay.
Yes, sir.
All right, fellas. Favorite Rihanna song?
Favorite Rihanna song would have to be Work featuring Drake.
Work? What about you, Tay?
I have to agree with Bob. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Got to. That Drake, you know what I mean?
And do you guys have a favorite Super Bowl halftime show?
Favorite Super Bowl halftime show? Nah, I wouldn't say I have a favorite. I have a memorable one. I mean, Janet Jackson, just everybody remember that one.
What about you, Ted?
I mean, I don't have a memorable one, but like you said, I probably remember that instance too.
Yeah, or like the year when it like blacked out at halftime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was what, 2012?
Yeah,
I remember that one for sure.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right, we're here in the Niners locker room with Aaron Banks. All right, a couple questions for you, Aaron. All right, favorite Super Bowl halftime memory?
I like the only one. I can only remember a couple. I can remember the Bruno Mars one, or was that the Weeknd? And then Beyonce. I can remember Beyonce.
All right, sweet. And then what about favorite Rihanna song? You know, she's performing this year.
I like the I remember the Love Eat Song with Future, and then the James joint. The James joint's a good song too.
All right, sweet. All right, thanks, Aaron.
For sure.
That's my favorite Rihanna song. My wife's favorite Rihanna song is what is that? The Work? Is that Work?
Yeah.
That's a Rihanna song, right? Yeah. That's my kid's favorite song. Work. Yeah, they like that song. And then probably the best Super Bowl halftime was the one with Bruno Mars and Beyonce. I thought that was a really good halftime performance.
All right, thanks, Willie.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
That was I think the one he's talking about was Niners Ravens, wasn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Wasn't that the Niners Ravens in the Big Easy, as they call it?
That was great, Ryan. Good job, man.
Nolans.
Oh, dude, nobody. I went around. It was sucked because they told me I had to ask those, and I went around and nobody knew any Rihanna songs. Off the top of their head. So, like, even
Really?
Even the Jennings one, I was like, all right, dude, you can look something up on your phone. You know what I mean? And then if you heard that, Lenore just dropped the G's nuts on me.
Yeah.
One of the guys in that video is going to be a baller in like a year. And that's Tay Martin, that receiver that Rye it was Tarvarius Moore and Tay Martin. And you heard Rye say, hey, Tay Martin is legit. I mean, like legit. Phenomenal route runner, incredible hands. So next year, wait for that name. Tay Martin. They call him Big Play Tay. Big Play Tay. Yeah, I mean, what will you guys do as far as like, I was thinking, I'm polling the kids, who's going to be here tomorrow? Dad usually makes a bunch of food. What is the ideal food? You go to the best Super Bowl party you could ever go to, and you can have any food. What do you want? I as you think about it, I got invited to a Super Bowl party through my wife. This was Packers Steelers a number of years ago, and I didn't know the people, and I had like huge money on Green Bay. And my wife goes, as we're driving to the party, I'm like, so who are these people? They're like, oh, they're in our play group and this and that. The kids were littler at that time. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, oh, I forgot to mention that, they're kind of big Steelers fans. And I go, really? And I'm like, damn, honey, I got big bucks on Green Bay. She's like, well, you can just kind of keep it to yourself. You don't have to, talk about your wager. I'm like, yeah, I know. You're right. All right. So I don't care. We walk in. We might as well have walked into Dan Rooney's house or Art Rooney's house. I mean, it was like there was more Steelers shit in that house than I've ever seen in my life. The entire team, the entire family's wearing Steeler jerseys. The mom, the dad, the grandma, the grandpa, they got Steeler. They were sitting on a couch that had a Steeler blanket over it. They had terrible towels. It was like they were the biggest Steeler fans ever. Green Bay goes in there. Aaron Rodgers wins the game. They're like losing their minds. I'm like kind of smiling because I'm like, oh. I'm like, every time there's a big play, I'm like, oh, and they're like, oh, fuck, and I'm like, oh, that was rough. And I'm like, yes, So we're walking out to the car, and my wife's like, oh, they're nice people. I go, yeah, they are nice people. It was really, she's like, they're really upset. I'm like, yeah, they're all Steeler fans, honey. And you know what? The Steelers don't lose a lot of Super Bowls. So, we're never coming back, right? She's like, shut up. I'm like, let me just say this right now. We are never coming back to their house. You know that, right? She's like, no, we'll be invited back. She's very nice. He's very nice. Their kids love our kids. I'm like, we're never getting invited back. Whatever year that was, we have never been invited back. We are synonymous with that fucking loss.
Incredible.
And it's what can you say?
Sports. That's
they were distraught. I mean, it was incredible. But what are you guys gonna eat? What's the ideal? You go to a Super Bowl party, you can have anything. What do you want?
Wings.
Let me just say, like some
you
people
want wings, little buffalo wings, barbecue wings, or
some garlic fries, buffalo wings.
Ooh, I go buffalo wings.
Yeah,
spicy buffalo wings.
That's right.
Danny,
not everyone understands.
Danny, who eats during the show, has not eaten on this show, but he. And by the way, MF has asked like 3 times in the chat, "Are you going live after the Super Bowl?" Yes, we'll do a Super Bowl post game tomorrow night. Check us out tomorrow night after the Super Bowl. But Danny, what food do you want at the Super Bowl party? Oh, is Mike? Are you still muted? He's still muted from offending everybody. Okay, now he's back.
Yeah, I just want to address this. I had no idea anything. Some people's mentioning like racist. I'm the furthest thing from racist. I mean,
sure, buddy.
I don't understand where. I was just curious. All
right, that's enough from him. Thou hath protest too much. No, I'm just joking. Dan. I'm just joking.
Idea. I was just curious what was in is in his hair because I.
All right, enough about Reggie Bullock's hair. It's an ode to.
If people knew me, they would never accuse me of that because I lost my best friend, who's African American, a few years ago to a heart attack. So he was a business partner and very close friend of mine, and so anybody who knows me would never make an outrageous
take the shovel
like
away.
That.
Someone.
I was serious. I don't know about the hair thing, so it was just like I've always wondered what it was. So that was what I was asking. I wasn't trying to make some comment.
Danny, can you talk food?
Food? What am I having for Super Bowl?
I mean, what's your
Pizza's
ideal? If
good.
you could set it up perfect.
Pizza's good. Chicken wings. I like. Sometimes I'll do the little smokies in the barbecue, like the sauce. The little, those little. They're like little miniature hot dogs, smokies. They call them little smokies. LIL.
You'll go little smokies. Okay.
Yeah, I love those.
Final answer.
So. But mostly, my favorite is probably that and chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Cy's just giggling up a storm over here.
I've never seen such a hole. I've never seen a hole that deep. That was amazing.
Well, I don't know. People were.
Cy's not outside, ladies and gentlemen. He's inside.
I'm fine. No, I'm fine. I'm inside. Yes, I'm
I
fine.
didn't even see it as a hole.
First of all, I want to say
get it.
That house you went to, some people just don't understand that level of passion, man. Some people some people love their teams. It's crazy. It sucks that you like they're synonymous with bad juju now. Apparently,
I know, seriously,
juju. But no,
really nice people. Really nice people. Have we been invited back? Hell to the no.
No, I mean,
I'm blaming the fact that Green Bay beat them that day as the reason.
In 2016, when the Warriors lost Game 7, I was by myself, largely for that reason. I didn't want to ever. So I get it, man. I get this.
Hey, Cy, the chat's asking if you're high. They say you look high.
Saturday
and you're talking.
night, man. Hell yeah, dude. It's Saturday. Of course.
He's twisted one up, man.
I'm blazed. Yeah. Two things for Super Bowl.
Yeah, you do look pretty wasted there on your porch.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm a functional stoner, but it's late.
And you're not driving anywhere, right? You're home.
I'm not driving.
You're home for the night.
He's just sitting on his porch, man. Enjoy.
Outside.
If Cy ain't gonna beat up anybody, he's just gonna go beat up some nachos or something after the end of this.
Right? I did last night. So nachos are good too, man. But I'm all about dip.
Nobody said nachos yet.
A great dip to me is one of the two things you need for Super Bowl, like just those amazing like bean dips or just.
Willard loves lentil dip. Lentils.
That's weird, but okay.
I don't know.
And then pizza, man. I mean, pizza's my other go-to.
Yeah, pizza's hard to beat. Rye, what are you cooking at the Lafayette pad?
Ooh, probably maybe chicken wings.
Will you do something special for Ringo?
Oh, now that's a better question. I actually will do something special for Ringo now that you said that. I might just make him a little piece of salmon or something.
How about some New York Italian style
salmon.
sausage?
I didn't think about that.
Nobody's having New York Italian style sausage.
It's funny you should say that because I may go Italian sausage.
I'm simply
Italian sausage.
I got to go back to the well.
I don't have the supply right now. I'm out.
GTC Real says, Dan, you're fired. Little Smokies, not Pasquale. Shame.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I gotta get my stash from Graves. He's my supplier.
Grilled cheese says sliders, tacos, and stuffed mushrooms. Ooh. You know what? I do stuffed mushrooms. I think I might do that tomorrow. I might go stuffed mushrooms. And you know what? That's what I do use. I go Italian. I'll go Italian mild. I'll squeeze it out of the casing. I'll dice it up. mix it in with some mascarpone cheese, some breadcrumb, some garlic, some mushrooms, and then I stuff them in the mushrooms, and then each one is just, I mean, it's just amazing.
Oh,
that sounds fire.
Stuffed mushrooms.
Deviled eggs sound good
I
too, man.
love deviled eggs.
Same.
I don't know how to make them.
Safeway make those? Like, is that a pre-made thing?
Yeah. I
What
mean,
is it about sliders, by the way, that are so good too?
There's just you just eat so many of them.
Yeah.
I like also I might make some jalapeno poppers. I'm just trying to think what I got in the fridge.
Ooh, jalapeno poppers. I'll tell you, now I do make one hors d'oeuvre that's a little on the healthy side.
Who are you serving this to?
Well, the family, and sometimes the kids will bring friends by. And
okay, you got the house full. All right, you got a full house.
I mean, during the pandemic, obviously it was just us for the most part. But now, somebody. I mean, and since it's not Niners, I'm like, yeah, come one, come all. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If it was the Niners, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
I don't want to see any of you. Get out of my house.
One year I rented a hotel room to watch a Warriors finals game. It was the only way to be alone, and I had to do it. So,
have you ever gotten caught watching a serious sporting event, like as you said, Cy, NBA finals, a World Series game, a Super Bowl, playoff game, and you're in some stupid setting with a bunch of stupid people?
Fuck, I mean, yes. I had a
that's
the worst. That's the worst.
In the Niners, it was the Niners and Packers. I think this was 97, like NFC divisional game. Do I have that right, or was it the NFC Championship where the Niners? It was NFC Championship 97. The Niners lost that game, I think 23-10. It was like a rainy day. Am I ringing a bell?
I think it might have been. I don't think it was the championship. I think it was. The division round.
Whatever it was
it's the Packers. Craig Newsome had a fumble recovery early in the game.
They were favored. They lost. It was a horrible game, and I was with a girlfriend. I was watching it with her at San Diego. We were on a trip. I didn't even want to be there in the first place. I wanted to watch it at my comforts in my house, and I'm just pissed and I'm eggy. Relationship ends because of it. So hell yeah,
I don't like watching a game, 49er game. I'll never go to a bar or anything like that where you can't even hear the sound and you can't even think. And I remember having the Super Bowl 19. I had friends over, and I'm like, dang, they just kept talking to me during the game. I'm like, I don't want to hear. I'm focused on the game. I don't want to, don't talk. If it doesn't have something to do with exactly what the game is, don't talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this one: Game 6, Giants Angels 2002 World Series. The Giants are up 5-0, and my little sister's like, "Yeah, some of my friends are having a party. Would you like to go to the party?" And this and that, and I'm like, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? I would like to go." And then I'm up 5. And I'm like, you know what? No, I can't do it. Because things might go south. Things went south anyway, of course, as we all know.
Night. Yeah.
But thank God I wasn't there. I mean, I seriously, they would, those girls would have seen me swearing and throwing shit. And,
what was the girl?
No, this is like my little sister and her friends.
Oh,
she invited me to some, it was like, some of her friends were having a party, and she's like, come on, they're going to win. They're up 5-0. And I'm like, no, I don't care. If they lose, I'll lose my S and I'll be throwing shit. And sure enough, they lost and I was throwing shit, but nobody had to see it.
We had a coworker, Larry. We had a coworker at KNBR then, Laura Haywood. Do you remember her?
Yes, I do.
She invited me to her house for that night, and that's what happened. We didn't speak for months. I think after that, besides work, because I didn't want to go there in the first place, and she insisted, and it was a horrible night, man. Yeah, that was a brutal loss. Because I think we all expected the Giants to win that game. I mean,
that was a brutal loss, and then it didn't bode well for Game 7. So that's the one that sticks out to me. I can't watch. I right now. I mean, like for a Super Bowl that I don't care about, bring it on. I don't care. You can talk all day. I don't care.
Yep, that's exactly the way I feel when you don't care about it. Just have a good time watching it.
Yeah. If you don't care, it's easy to just be like, yeah, awesome.
Bet money, right? And just have fun.
I don't even know. It's funny because I haven't put any thought into this Super Bowl, really have no care who wins. Just want to see.
Does anyone watch the Super Bowl from an HOA meeting?
That's funny. No, I don't even know who I want to win yet. It's like, and I'll come up.
The roof directly above the hole is on page 2 and is the top picture. This is why the hole was generated, because the roof is bad.
So just so everyone has a little bit of history here, I know I talked to a couple of you before the meeting, but this is a
That was Dan at the HOA meeting. I love my favorite part of that. And as you can see, the hole in the roof, and everybody's like, "Oh, yes, I can see it."
You know what? This is weird because you'd think I would think that I would be rooting against the Eagles, but actually, I have kind of a weird I don't know if I want Patty Mahomes to win this one. I really don't. I kind of felt like Joe Burrow outplayed him, and it was sort of neither team really necessarily played their best, but I thought that actually the Bengals played closer to their best. And to be honest, he didn't play very well at all in that Super Bowl he won versus the Niners, and people try and act like he, was unbelievable, whatever. And then he didn't play very well in the Super Bowl that he lost. I mean, the guy has 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in his 2 Super Bowl starts. And people act like he's, the next coming of Tom Brady. Now, granted, he is from a talent standpoint, he's, he's like the most incredible quarterback I've ever seen. But that said, I'm being kind of a salty hater, and I kind of want him to lose. So I kind of enjoyed when he flamed out last year as well.
I just don't think I can't. Oh, sorry. I can't picture Andy Reid and the Chiefs blowing another Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Last year.
Hey, who was the runner-up for MVP? I know Mahomes won it. Who was the runner-up? Was
Hurts.
it Hurts?
It was
okay.
Hurts.
There's a history of the runner-up to MVP of any sport. When they meet, the runner-up wins.
Right. It's like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, so I think that bodes well for. Hey, I'm gonna have to cut out here, so I'm gonna let you guys go. It's almost 12, quarter to 12 here, and
Who said you could leave, man? What the dude?
Well, it's a little later here.
You leave when Larry says you leave, dude. Until then,
I do have some interesting picks that I'll give you for the 49ers. Maybe the next time. I came up with some names that I think hopefully will be available in the 3rd round, in the 5th round, and I'll be
throw us one name here. I mean,
I'll throw you a few because I studied it for a few hours.
Dan's doing a major mock draft.
Okay, if he's available, I think they should go tight end first pick, and either Iowa's Sam Laporta or Georgia's tight end Darnell Washington. They're good blockers and receivers. Okay. Washington at Georgia's like 6'7", and he's a great blocker. They say he could even be he's like a 6th lineman, but he's got great quickness off the line. He's got, good target zone for throwing to. Defensive tackle, nose tackle. They missed, Jones. It's with Denver now.
DJ.
I like Maisie Smith of Michigan.
Okay.
And there's this kid at Illinois, Jersom Newton. He goes by Johnny Newton, but he played. I was watching his highlights in high school. He was a big running back, and he just bowled over people. Now he's beefed up. He's like 295, but he's low to the ground and he's powerful. And then as a cornerback,
you got a corner for us?
Yeah, another corner, Syracuse, Garrett Williams. Coming off an ACL.
That's one of the guys I like.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
He
might be available because he's a really good cover guy, but he's coming off an ACL injury, so maybe he'll fall. And then I think with the last thing I picked later, if he's available, and they got like 3 5th-round picks and some 7th. Maybe they get a kicker this year and get the kid out of Michigan, Jake Moody. I don't know if they'll re-sign.
You're kicking Robbie Gould off the team?
He's a free agent. Is he going to re-sign? He's 40. How long are you going to go with him?
I think I'd bring him back. I'd bring him back. I like Robbie.
I love Robbie.
Dan's Emilio.
Dan Scout Emilio.
Anyway,
Danny, good stuff. Are you around tomorrow after the Super Bowl?
Yeah. What's the game start?
Unless he's
8:30.
4:30 here, I think, or 5:30.
8:30 Pacific, roughly. Will go on.
Okay.
Maybe 9.
Yeah, that's
All
cool,
right, brother. We'll
All
talk.
right, have a good night, guys.
The great Dan Coach Emilio. We got this one in the chat from. We're just going to go a few more minutes. Tom Pierce. He says, any prop bets? And this, I wanted to ask you guys a couple of these prop bets. I put a little money tonight on Travis Kelce over 7.5 receptions.
Ooh,
and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay. George Kittle said earlier this week, he's like, if I'm Philly, I bracket Kelce and I just make somebody else beat me. And I think there's a very good chance Philly could try that.
But no one actually does.
I know. It's amazing. They get him. Reed is such a genius. He gets him flexed out wide. But you got Juju Smith-Schuster's got a knee injury. Kadarius Toney's got an ankle and a hamstring injury. McCole Hardman's out with a pelvis injury. All three of those guys are questionable. Hardman's not going to go. I think Toney and Smith-Schuster do go, but they're not going to be 100%. And then MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, has had back problems. And I just think, looking at this postseason, Travis Kelce has had 7 receptions on 8 targets against the Bengals. And then he had 14 receptions on 17 targets against the Jaguars. So 2 games, this guy had 21 receptions on 25 targets. I mean, and he's got an 84% target share from Mahomes. Then you mix in the fact that in 2 Super Bowls, Kelce has totaled 10 receptions on 15 targets against the Bucs and 6 receptions on 6 targets against the Niners. So in 2 Super Bowls, he's got a 76% target share, 16 receptions, 21 targets. So I just think that, I kind of like it over. Now, I know the over is favored and the public money's coming in on the over. But the under is
just, that it's like artificially probably propped up by 1 reception and probably some juice. But at the same time, I mean, big game, he tends to ball.
I mean, it's a tough one, but that one seems attractive to me. There is a prop bet, by the way. I mean, not to make light of it in any way, but there's a prop bet about will a trans person run on the field during the game?
Wow.
Why? Why
I have
that?
no idea.
Why?
I have no idea, but it's in there.
No.
It's in the prop bets.
That's very random.
That's
really random.
Isn't that random?
Stay away. I'm going to stay away from that.
How about this one? How about this? If you think there's a chance Mahomes misses any time, like he get re-injures or anything, or just that he struggles, or the game script just goes in a way where maybe he has a couple long PIs, Joe Burrow is 6-1 to lead the 2022 playoffs in passing yards. He's currently 200 yards ahead of Mahomes.
So that bet's saying Mahomes will not throw for 200. That's it. Of course, you bet on Mahomes. That's easy.
No, I know, but it's 6-1. That's like
that's
no,
like
you don't bet that. When you consider,
no, you don't do that.
What does that mean? You bet 600, you win $100?
No. Bet 100, you win 600. Essentially, if Mahomes throws under,
that's a good bet. I would bet that.
Yeah,
I would bet that.
If he gets injured, I mean. Or like there's a couple PI, like, he gets 60 yards on a pass interference. It's theoretically it's 60 yards for Mahomes, but he doesn't get it. Or just the game script dictates kind of I don't know.
You're saying
Drake bet 700,000. Drake bet 700,000 on KC. I believe on KC. On KC, I believe.
That's what I want to do. I'm betting only $50, but still, for me, that's
Well, I'll tell you my bet that I'm going
money
with.
Line.
I'm going to take the Chiefs. And one of the bets that I've loved this year is parlay a 7.5 point teaser on the team that I like and the side that I like. So, in other words, I like Kansas City to win outright. You're
Same.
getting, is it Rise at 1.5 or 2.5?
1.5 is what I saw.
1.5.
So you can go and get the Chiefs plus 9. Chiefs plus 9 on the
Ooh.
tees. And then you can go, like, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. So I can take the total. What's the total? 51, something like that?
And drop it to 40, what, 5, 44?
I can drop it down 7.5 points and go over.
43.5.
I mean,
That's what I'm doing. I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs plus 9, and I'm taking that 43.5, and I'm going over.
What are your odds on that?
It's almost like a straight bet, but you got to hit both.
Yeah, I'm just going to take the money line.
It's almost like even money.
Yeah.
Here's a fun prop one for anyone that listened to the Bill Simmons podcast. They already heard this one, and normally I would not like to ride anything that was talked about on there, but I actually do like this. 22-1 for the last score of the game to be a defensive touchdown. Now think about that. The last score of the game could naturally just be a defensive touchdown. But how many times this year have we seen in a close game, especially in the Super Bowl,
like a ceiling touchdown?
Well, the stupid freaking passing it back and forth, sort of trying to go for the miracle, and then this game's going to be close. I think the team with the ball at the end of the game is going to have a chance to tie or go ahead. All you need is just one of those stupid things, and then one of the teams runs it in for a touchdown. Not bad.
That's interesting. The other one you can get that I think somebody's asking about Jerick McKinnon. You can go under 23 passing yards on McKinnon.
Do you like? Well, they activated Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so that's the. So I mean, I kind of like McKinnon under.
Yeah, it's at 23.5 rushing yards. They throw it to him, but they really don't hand it to him. I mean, he ran for 25 yards on 11 rushing attempts against the Jaguars, and then he had 1 yard on 4 rushing attempts against the Bengals. So under 23.5 rushing yards, that's not bad. That's not bad right there.
That's not bad.
I also kind of think I don't know what your guys' predictions are. I'm going 35-31 Kansas City, and I like Isaiah Pacheco to be the MVP. I just think that when you get in deep against the Eagles, they got a great pass D, and I think you can run on them a little bit. And Pacheco's got 4.3 speed, and he's been really underrated, and they're kind of dinged up. And I could see them with penalties and big pass plays getting into the red zone, and then I could see them handing it to Pacheco and having him get in there. So
I think it's always fun to even though it's almost every year it is a quarterback. I do think it's fun to sprinkle a little on non-quarterbacks. I actually
MVP to be on the MVP. You mean?
I actually put $10 on Gardner Minshew on the off chance Jalen Hurts gets injured. I sprinkled a little bit on both Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, thinking, if it's going to be a non-quarterback, it's probably going to be Mahomes, right? If the Chiefs win, they're going to give it to Mahomes. But if it's the Eagles, I could see that, or I could see, if there's a Hassan Reddick, type situation where, there's one pass rusher that, sack fumble plus, just is causing havoc. They could also maybe get it.
It's amazing. Jay Cornegay, my buddy from the used to work at the Imperial Palace and Las Vegas Hilton and all these different spots. He's a race and sports book director, and he says that the Super Bowl first quarter in the book is just like freaking mayhem, man. It's just, so the anthem gets sung. There's a prop bet. Will it be over or under 122 seconds?
Yeah.
And basically the U.S. offshore odds makers have it anywhere from 119 to 122 seconds. And people bet on that. People bet on the coin toss, heads or tails.
Yeah. That's a big one.
The last two Super Bowl coin tosses have turned up heads, but tails has gone in 6 of the last 10. Do you go heads or tails? I always go tails, never fails.
I always go heads. Senior softball games, by the way, mentions Prize Picks. I don't know if you guys ever play that. Official sponsor of Locked On Warriors, legal in California.
Nice.
And Yeah, I forgot all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the reminder. I'm absolutely getting on that because that's all about individual props, right? Like Patrick Mahomes over under probably 320 yards passing, stuff like that. So I could look that up right now, actually. Real
nice.
quick.
So
what do you guys think of this one too?
So it's kind of like
how many times? What side would you be on this one? How many times will Tom Brady's name be mentioned on the broadcast between the kickoff and the final buzzer? And the over/under is set on 1.5.
Wasn't there a chance he joins the broadcast? Maybe
no, he's not going to be. He's not going to start the next chapter of his football career with Fox till 2024.
Could he do a little surprise, little guesting on?
But I was thinking he'd be a great candidate. Why? Because you don't know what's going to happen. And Tom Brady's played in so many freaking Super Bowls that what are the odds that one of these quarterbacks does something that either ties or approach, breaks some record that he has, right?
Bet the over, man.
That one
they're going to mention his name so much. Yeah.
Then they have what will Rihanna's opening song be? Diamonds, Don't Stop the Music, We Found Love, Rude Boy, Umbrella, Where Have You Been, or Other?
Umbrella.
Yes. Umbrella. I know I already gave this out, but I do really like, even if you like the Chiefs to win, I like Philly to win the first half, KC to win the game is 6-1. And the Eagles all year have been the best first half team in the league. By far, it's not even close. And the Chiefs, there's just too many times we've seen it now where in these big games, they get behind early and then they come back and win. So I think 6-1, I kind of like it.
This is interesting too. Araku Toki says Isaiah Pacheco scoring a touchdown is plus 140 in the game. I love that. I love Pacheco scoring a touchdown in this game.
But ultimately, wouldn't you agree with that the safest philosophy is to bet on the quarterback? And
as far as the MVP?
No, for who wins the game. And Patrick
Mahomes. Go with Mahomes, you mean?
Just so much better. Yeah.
Here's my thing on that. I think the Eagles have the best roster. But Andy Reid and Mahomes have been there. And here's the spot that the reason I'm leaning towards Kansas City. I just think that when you have been to the Super Bowl as much as they have, and you've won one, and you know that feeling, and they've lost one, and their most recent time there, they lost. I think that sticks with you, man. I think the pain of losing this game is almost greater than I just think you're like every team that loses the Super Bowl on Monday after feels like the national goat.
Agreed.
They just do, because the game has become that big. And so I just think that I'll take Andy Reid and Mahomes. I can't picture the two of those guys losing another Super Bowl together.
Right.
And also I'll give you the other thing, all this talk about the Eagles, the one thing about the media in this country, it's based in the Northeast. And so we get a distorted view of everything based on the Northeast.
Very true.
And the proximity to the Northeast. And the Eagles are a Northeast darling. And the reality is they played the 32nd best schedule in the NFL this year. They got a crappy New York Giants team at home, and they easily decimated them. And then they got the Niners, and they found a way to knock out, Brock Purdy, and the Niners didn't have Garoppolo sitting there. If they had, I think the Niners would have won. Or if Purdy doesn't get knocked out, I think the Niners would have won. So I think the Eagles were really going good early in the year. I don't think they're going as good as people think they're going. Like that combined score of their two playoff games is not indicative of where they're at as a team. And I just think that Mahomes and Chris Jones and I'll tell you the other thing. I really love the young defensive backs for Kansas City. And I just think I think Mahomes, I'll go with Mahomes. And I'll definitely go with Mahomes if you give me 9. I can get 9 points in Mahomes. I feel like there's no way Mahomes is going to get blown out here. I think either Kansas City blows them out or Kansas City wins close. I got Kansas City in a shootout. I'll definitely take Kansas City in 9.
Yeah, I got the money line, whatever that would be, like plus 120. Is that what it comes out to? So here's the Prize Picks OUs. Jalen Hurts, passing yards over under 238.5. What are you rolling with?
I don't have a feel on that.
Say it again.
238.5, 238.5
for passing yards. I like under.
Under, okay. And then what
I like
about
under? But I still think the Eagles are going to have success running it more than passing it.
And then what about Patrick Mahomes 285.5? It's a lot. But Patrick Mahomes is a 300-yard.
I think that's right on. I think that's right on the number. I mean, seriously, I'd probably lean over, but I think that's right on.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's right on. That's a good number.
And this is what anyone legal in California, by the way, which is freaking awesome. Okay, rushing yards. Jalen Hurts 46.5.
Under.
Oh, under. And then Patrick Mahomes, they put at 18.5. Is there anyone that you think is going to run in this game?
I like Isaiah Pacheco, and I like Miles Sanders.
Isaiah Pacheco is 6-1 to lead the playoffs in rushing. Right now, it's McCaffrey. He needs 100 yards to beat it.
Isaiah Pacheco's over/under is 48.5 rushing yards. That sounds low for a player that you're saying could be.
I like the over.
Yeah, I would say over. Someone asked me.
Okay, and then what about you? Don't think Jerick McKinnon's going to do anything
as a receiver, but not as a runner?
Okay, well, so receiving yards. We were just talking about. Well, where is he? I don't know if I can't. Oh, Jerick McKinnon, 22.5 receiving yards.
I like over.
Like that sounds confident, or just you're?
Yeah, no, I like over. I definitely like over on that. Why? Because I think you're going to have to come up with. Philly's got 70 sacks. That's like the third highest number in the history of the NFL.
That's
the
crazy.
Ball's coming out. They're not gonna sit back there all day, and the Chiefs have offensive tackle issues. So I think the ball's gonna come out quick, and I think that means a lot of dump offs to McKinnon.
Oh, and
with them trying to here, you got to remember this too. If you really think, as Kittle suggested, that they may double Kelsey, then somebody's gonna have to be is going to benefit from that, and it's probably McKinnon.
And then Travis Kelce's OU is 77.5 receiving yards. Any feeling either way?
I like over. I think he's like 9 catches for 95 yards or more, something like that.
Or more. He just makes plays.
He's unstoppable. Man. He's an unstoppable force. Frank, what were you going to say?
Now, somebody in the chat asked who did I think was going to win, and I mean, to me, football is kind of like basketball. If it's not my team, and I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm a Warriors supporter and a Kings supporter, I root for players. I mean, I really admire Jalen Hurts, so I just want to see him play well. And if they win, that's fine. I like Pat Mahomes as well. I mean, I could see KC winning, so I'm gonna sit back and I want to see the best team win.
Yeah,
I don't bet. I don't know how to bet, but I want to see those guys play well. And I love Kelsey. I love Kelsey also. So
isn't it amazing, by the way, what this game has become? I went to this afternoon. I went to Safeway to just grab a couple things, and it was packed. Mm-hmm. And I remember last year going there on Super Bowl Sunday at like noon. I mean, it was like you would think, there was like no food on the shelves. I mean, people are going to town, and the Niners weren't in it, and there was really no local angle of any substance. It just has become this just an unbelievable, cultural phenomenon. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really is an amazing thing. I mean, the NFL, I mean, we have no Niners, no Raiders, no tie to the thing this weekend. But I mean, every mall, every grocery store from 10 a.m. through like probably game time is just going to be absolute. People are just going to run. I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. We're at that point where people are suggesting that the Monday after the Super Bowl should be a holiday.
No, it should be.
Maybe get rid of President's Day and now just give us like Super Bowl holiday hangover day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Are you guys going to be boozing? I just don't.
I'm not. No, but If I went to a party, I would.
I like to drink and I like to watch sports. I just don't like to drink and watch sports.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I end up betting. It's not good.
So real quick,
yeah,
if you're a Prize Picks player, you got to bet on at least 2 teams. So on the Eagles, are you feeling anyone, man? Like AJ Brown, his OU, for example, for receiving yards is 69.5. Would you?
Too risky. Too risky. He's checked out. To me, Devontae Smith, I think, is a better angle.
He's at 60.5, 60.5.
What's Goddard at?
Well, Devontae Smith says 60.5.
I like the over.
Would you ask, Ryan?
Dallas Goedert at the tight end.
Dallas Goedert 47.5 receiving yards.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I like that too. The one that I thought looked like a lock that was really too low is the Boston Scott rushing yards.
Oh.
And it was like 7.5. He's their backup running back. Yeah. I like over.
Really done. All right.
Yeah. Boston Scott's going to run for at least 15 yards.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Thank you. All right.
There you go. All right, guys. Hey, good stuff tonight. I'm just going to play a few spots. I'll let everybody out right here. Frank, good to see you, man.
Take care.
Hopefully we'll catch up maybe next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
The great Frank Red. Cy, you're jetting. Ride checked out.
Larry, love you, brother. As always. Thank you.
Absolutely, dude.
Good time.
Hey, if you're where are you watching it tomorrow?
I'm home, dude. I'm just gonna have a nice little stony, chill session. Just get some pizza going, Detroit style. Just bet.
Detroit style. It's fun. So at Costco, I've been buying the Detroit style pizza. It's basically like
yes, that's what I'm making. That is exactly what I'm making.
Oh, you're making your own Detroit style?
Yeah. Costco sells those things, and
so Detroit style. I would have to say, if I had to describe it, I would say it's the meat goes all the way to the edge of the crust.
Yeah, and the crust is really like crunchy.
Yeah.
In San Francisco, there's a place called Golden Boys, I think, is pizza in North Beach.
Yeah.
And they've been around forever, and they're Detroit style, and it's delicious, man. That's my favorite, I think. That's my go-to. But yeah, man, just gambling and just getting high, and and then
Jim Malayson, same size, stony as fuck.
And someone asked if you could also bet like cross sports on Prize Picks. You can, you can mix it up.
I never do well on those. Who will have more points?
It's hard. I know.
Jordan Poole against this again. There was probably some tonight. I bet you there were some that tied to NBA games tonight. That would be my guess.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been. It's hit or miss. Like some nights, like I open it up and I'm like, you just feel it, right? I mean, it goes with anything gambling where sometimes you just feel it. It's just like everything calls you to make that pick, and you make it, and you nail it, and it's just weird, but it works. Yeah, I do that some nights, but what are you doing, man? You got kids over? I mean, your kids are all
I mean, I'm gonna make some food, and we got a full house, and I think some of the kids are bringing their friends by, and we'll just chill out and watch the game, and today my 13-year-old had basketball game today, baseball game, and a football game. He had a flag football, baseball practice, I should say, and a basketball game tonight. So we got all of it done today on Saturday. So tomorrow normally he's got Sunday baseball. No Sunday baseball. We got it all done on Saturday. So, it's just going to be, I don't watch the pregame show for more than like a half hour.
Because it's boring as fuck. It's so boring.
It's kind of made for like people that don't watch football. You know what I mean? It does it feel like it's like a courting of the casual fan.
Yes, like G-rated stuff.
These people that have like, Q rating in our society, and it's like, here's this famous person, here's that famous person, and
absolutely,
there's some good stuff buried in there, but it's like you'd have to really dig for it. So yeah, I'll just I'll make some hors d'oeuvres. I've got this one hors d'oeuvre that's phenomenal. It's so basically I take French bread, I slice it up, slice up the French bread into real thin things. Then I kind of toast them, right? Toast the French bread. Then I go in
first. Or, I mean, what do we just?
No, just plain toasted.
Plain. Okay.
Then I put like a There's like a basil spread. It's like green basil. And then I put a slice of fresh mozzarella and then a cherry tomato on top. And then you drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of balsamic vinegar.
Oof.
And they're awesome. They're awesome. And each one, so you're getting like cheese, basil, fresh mozzarella, little olive oil, little balsamic. Dude, they're so good. They're so good. I mean, I don't even want to tell you how many of those I can put away.
That sounds phenomenal. Yeah, and they're crunchy and they're just easy to eat and
yeah,
I'm starving
absolutely.
now.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. Or I should say, go check out Pig in a Pickle. Pig in a Pickle, 2 locations.
Novato,
barbecue.
Right?
They're in Corte Madera and Marin County. They're in Emeryville in the East Bay.
That's where I'm going.
Pig in a Pickle. Bring it back to the house. Sounds like
I might do that, man. Corte Madera is not that far from me, so maybe I'll do that.
All right, brother.
Man.
Good seeing you, man.
Love you, man.
There you go. Love you too. The great Cy. Cy in the house. All right. Good show, man. Good live stream. We're about 2.5, almost exactly 2.5 hours into our live stream. And I just want to thank everybody. Also, we're going to play the spots right here. So why don't we do that? We'll play some of the commercials right here, and then I'll come back with some final thoughts on the Krueg show. But first, let's get our new commercial from one of our phenomenal sponsors, Telmetrics. And big thanks to Casey Bateman and the good people at Telmetrics for being sponsor of the show. If you're an occupational therapist, an orthopedic surgeon, if you're a chiropractor or a physical therapist of any kind, Telmetrics can really help you. It can greatly benefit your patients. They use computer vision and artificial intelligence, and they provide a platform for outpatient rehab therapy services, both in the clinical and the telehealth environments. So it's really just a way for people who have sports injuries to rehab without going to the doctor. So check it out. Telmetrics.co, Telmetrics.co. Thanks to Casey Bateman and all the good people at Telmetrics. And here's a few more words for Telmetrics. And thanks to Tony Cassera and the good people at Cassera's Italian Menswear. They are housing the Krueg Show t-shirts, and they're a proud sponsor of the show as well. The Krueg Show t-shirt, the Krueg Show podcast t-shirt is available there at their store in Dublin. Their address is 7372 San Ramon Road in Dublin, California. And go see Tony Cassera and get yourself a Krueg Show t-shirt and support the show. And special thanks to our sponsor, New York Style Italian Sausage. That's right, NewYorkStyleSausage.com is their website. Phenomenal product, whether it's the breakfast sausage, the Italian mild, the Italian spicy, the chorizo. You cannot go wrong with New York Style Italian Sausage. Once again, NewYorkStyleSausage.com. Often imitated, never equaled.
We grew up with a Sunday dinner. That means no matter how busy you were, no matter where the hell you were, you came to dinner on a Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday dinner without sausage, it's like a church without God. You know, how can you go to church if you don't believe in God? You know, and along with the sausage also became the discussions. That was discussion night. You know, it wasn't a typical family that you sit there and you're quiet, you know, and you don't talk with a mouthful. Oh no, man. Italians talk when they're eating. Italians even talk when they're sleeping. And definitely we talk with our hands. So if we can't express it through our mouth, through our lips, we express it with our hands. So, and that's what sausage is, really. It's an expression, you know, that life is good.
All right, welcome back to the Krueg Show. Larry Krueger with you on a Saturday night as we get ready for Super Bowl Sunday. I'd like to thank everybody who was part of the show tonight, and of course, Danny and Rye, Cy, and Frank. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to our title sponsor, Pig and a Pickle. Check them out. 2 locations. They've got a location in Corte Madera, Marin County. They got another one in Emeryville, in the Emeryville Public Marketplace. They're open Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville, and they're open 7 days a week in Corte Madera. Check them out. The brisket, the ribs, the chicken, the house-made sausages. They make everything from scratch every single day. They work at it. They really work at it, and that's why they've got a great restaurant. My favorite things, I love the brisket. I love the brisket chili. The potato salad is amazing. The potato chips cooked in beef fat, also amazing. But they got a lot of great things. Kids menu, craft beers, really cool environment, really cool ambiance, if you will. But anyway, thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Thanks to Damon and Mary for being proud sponsors of the Krueg Show. And on Super Bowl Sunday, if you're not sure what exactly to grab, man, hit Pig and a Pickle. Corte Madera. Check them out. Emeryville. Awesome spot. Corte Madera and Emeryville. Pig and a Pickle. The best barbecue in the Bay Area. And thanks to Damon and Mary for being the title sponsor of the Krueg Show. All right, we've had an incredible month. Tom Pierce said, really fun show tonight. I thought it was fun as well. You know, we got a lot of good people. And it's just kind of, you know, sometimes we get into it and argue. Sometimes we get into it and laugh. Today was just kind of, we pushed it around a little bit and talked a little bit about the loss. It was a tough loss for Golden State. But the big question for tomorrow is Golden State going to rescind that trade and bring James Wiseman back, which I think I would do. But Cy seems to think that Payton could be ready for the finals, and maybe the Warriors could still be alive at that point. So, you know, I mean, if I'm okay with carrying the thing out, you know, and going with GP2, but I think the Warriors really need a piece or two in the buyout market. And I'm really eager to see, you know, if the Warriors get a piece that they can use in the buyout market. But we have, to the minute, in the last month, the channel's exploded. We've added almost 3,000 subscribers in the last month alone. So if you're still in the chat, we are at 13,687 subscribers. So hit like and subscribe. If you hit like, that helps the algorithm find more people find us. If you hit subscribe, you'll just get an alert on your phone every time we go live. And then we also have a deal for channel members. It's $4.99 a month to be a channel member. And we put some exclusive content out there for channel members. Also, the t-shirts are in, and I sent out the first batch today. So there was a bunch of t-shirts that went out today that, you know, they're $25 for the shirt, $10 for shipping. So $35 total. There's a number of people that have reached out and said that they want the shirts. So if I don't have your address, I need your address. So if you told me you wanted a shirt and you haven't given me your address, please reach out to me somehow and get me your address. Also, just Venmo me the $35 and I can give you my Venmo address. But just DM me and we can go back and forth. And once again, they're $35, $25 for the shirt, $10 to ship. And it takes about 3 days for them to get there. I have size large, extra large, double XL, and I will have 3 triple X or 3 or 4 triple XLs. And you heard Frank Red said he wants a triple XL. Frank's got that triple XL, you know, football build. So we'll definitely get Frank a triple XL. Mole in the chat says, Krueg Show, celebrate when Bay teams win, therapy when they lose, plus Pasquale's commercials. There you go. That's exactly what it is. Mole, love you, brother. Have a great Super Bowl Sunday. Senior softball game says, Krueg Show needs a website or at least a Facebook page. All right. We're working on that. We'll work on that. my son has put together some amazing videos. So they're kind of shortened versions of some of the live streams. And in addition to that, there are a number of short videos that I've taped that never were live streams. So check that out. Go to the Krueg Show, check out those videos, hit like, hit subscribe, become a channel member, and support the show. And if you need a t-shirt, just somehow get a hold of me. And I don't have any mediums. Get this one from the young Montana. Do you have a size medium? I don't have any mediums. I have large, XL, 2XL, and some 3XLs. So that's what I got. But, I would say this, go with the large and wash it a few times, and it'll probably shrink into a medium, kind of a small and a medium. GTC Reels says, peace, Krug. Peace, GTC Reels. Why does it have a question mark? Peace? Yes, peace. This one blank says extra medium. Yes. Hendricks going to Pig in a Pickle tomorrow. Look at that. Hendricks. All right, Hendricks, this is what I need you to do. Don't just go to Pig in a Pickle. Whoever is serving you at Pig in a Pickle, tell Damon, who's the owner, tell Mary that Larry Krueger sent me. Larry Krueger sent me. I was sent because I saw your ads on the Krueg Show, and that's why I'm here at Pig in a Pickle. They'd love to hear it. Mitchell and Ness, are you streaming tomorrow, Larry? I may stream pregame. I was supposed to hook up with Jordan Elliott from Niners Nation. And, maybe if Jordan's got time tomorrow in the pregame, I may stream pregame. We're definitely going to stream in the postgame. So we'll definitely be here in the postgame tomorrow night after the Super Bowl. We'll talk a little Niners. We'll talk a little off season. By the way, this whole week, I'm going position by position, and I'm going to grade out the 49ers unit by unit. D-line, we're going to start with the D-line. We're going to linebackers, then we're going to the secondary, then we're going to special teams, and we'll flip it to the offense, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line. And I'm going to do a breakdown video recapping the season for every position group, not just who played well, who played poorly, and what they need at that position group going forward. So there you go. Hendrick says, Larry Krueger sent me. Got it. There you go. Fish and chips. Can I say Larry Krueger sent me anywhere? Yes, you can. Tom Pierce. We need a Pig in a Pickle meetup with the gang. We'll do it. We'll absolutely do it. Do we do it in Marin or do we do it in Emeryville? Probably Marin because there's more places to sit. Bigger restaurant. But let's do it. We'll do a Pig in a Pickle meetup here in the next few weeks. Maybe what we'll do is we'll do a Pig in a Pickle meetup sometime this spring. Maybe when the Giants are on the tube, or when maybe there's like NCAA tournament games, we could go in there, watch a game, get a bunch of barbecue. That'd be cool. I'd like to do that. Meet all the local Krueg Show fans. Eddie K says, Larry, take a picture of the spread you're cooking and chomping on tomorrow. I will. I absolutely will. I'll do some pictures. I'll put them in the chat tomorrow night. We can check out what I cooked. I'm thinking stuffed mushrooms. I've got, I'm other than that, I got to see what the kids want. Sometimes they want sliders. Sometimes they want pizza. I like to do buffalo wings, but I don't make the buffalo wings as well as I want. You know what I mean? It's like I make them, but they're not like as good as like restaurant buffalo wings. Then I get kind of bummed because I'm like, what the hell? What happened to my buffalo wings? But you know what I'm thinking? I may cook them in the oven and then finish them on the flat top with the buffalo sauce. That sometimes makes them extra special. What else? Tom Pierce says, I'm in Healdsburg, so Marin for me. Tom, go tell him. Say, man, Krug sent me. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Damon's the owner. He's a terrific guy. He's a big fan of the show, and he's a major supporter of my career. So thank you to Damon. Thank you to Mary. And thanks to all of you. Really fun Saturday night. I'm going to go watch a little tube right now before I crash. I got to check in on my phone to make sure my teenagers are going to make it home safely. And I always get the, hey, Dad, I think I might be spending the night. No. Nothing puts my antennas up more than, yeah, I think I might be spending a night at a buddy's house. That sounds like I'm trashed and I don't want to come home. So I gotta watch the kids extra close, if you know what I'm saying. It's like you keep your friends close, you keep your enemies closer, and you keep your kids even closer than that. And that being said, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night after the Super Bowl. Once again, my Super Bowl prediction: Chiefs get it done, 35-31. The MVP is Isaiah Pacheco. Go Chiefs.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Here for whatever you bring me, getting handled. I answer to no one.